Great Reverend Section, you are.
Okay. And see if Vice Chair Bird Robinson is going. We'll wait 1 minute to see if she's going to get in. All right. All right. Good evening to everyone. We do have our quorum. Everybody ready in the boardroom?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Everybody ready online? Mr. Williams, I see you.
Yes.
I don't see. Okay. I don't see Ms. Bird Robinson yet or Ms. Hale. All right. We call this meeting to order at 6:46 p.m. And we're going to begin. We'll ask everyone if they would pay close attention to our mission statement that will be posted momentarily, or you may have it tangibly. All right. Let us prepare to read together our mission statement. Everyone ready?
Yes.
All right, let's go. The mission of Welding City School District is to create and maintain a highly effective educational system in which every student receives the highest quality education. School employees and parents work together to prepare students to become caring, competent, and responsible citizens as a lifelong process. All right, thank you so much. We will ask now if board member Ms. Kay Robinson, if she would give us our thought for the evening.
Good evening. In times like these, self-care is crucial. So we should speak life into ourselves using I statements. So remember to say, I am courageous. I am unstoppable. I am victorious. I am loved. I am blessed. I am gifted. I am anointed. I am successful. I am healed. I'm beautiful or handsome. I'm whole. I'm confident. I am forgiving. I'm grateful. I am generous. I'm strong. I'm favored. I am able, and I am powerful, and I am fruitful. I am, you are, and we should take time to take care of ourselves so that we can give 100% to the children of Welding City Schools. Thank you.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much, board member Ms. Kay Robinson, for our thought for the evening. And I know all of us can repeat those words as you just said, and encourage ourselves with saying that I am, or we are. Thank you so much. At this time, board members, I would ask that you would review your agendas. And as we review our agendas, ask that you would take the opportunity to notice them and see if there's anything that we may need to add or we may need to take away from our meeting on tonight. And I will begin, if we could go to number 11. Number 11. If we could tonight postpone these two until next month, because I know we have some things on our agenda that we're going to have to talk about, and hopefully we won't be here all night. under 11, 11A, and 11B, if we can postpone that until our meeting next month, because we do have some things that we need to add as far as our discussion items. Mr. Williams, what was it that we were going to call it from our meeting yesterday that we want to add in the place of that?
We want to add discussion concerning the refurbish or new high school.
Okay, and we want to put that as, let that take the place of A. Would everybody agree to that for tonight?
Yes.
All right.
Mr. Chair, I like
Hold
to,
on.
okay.
Hold on one second for me. Rebuild or rehab high school. And rather than saying for discussion only under A, which A would be now, we may need to take action on that. I'm not sure. Attorney Malone, could we, when we talk about that, it may need to, that we need to take action on something. We can do that, correct? And notate that.
Yeah, but I mean, would you want to just put it under in a different spot? Maybe put it under, where's the action items? Oh, there are no action items.
Right.
Yeah, we can all, why don't we change 11 from discussion only to discussion / action items?
Okay.
And then that way, when we get there, if we need to take action, it won't require a new motion at that point.
All right. If we could do that, discussion / action for number 11 and change 11A to rebuild or rehab high school. Thank you so much. Okay, Ms. Kay Robinson, you were.
Yes, I like to go under C, building and grounds, and number 2, Roman numeral number 2, Sycamore Street property. We can table that to November.
Okay, so remove Sycamore Street until November.
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. Was it anything else?
Yeah, you were going to add a closed session, I guess, after number 12.
That is correct. Dr. Myrick, do we have any information only for number 12?
Yes. The only thing that's there for information only are the board minutes from last month that have been amended.
Under number 12?
Yes, that's the only thing. It's an attachment.
Okay. All right, so let's add, can we say a 12A closed session?
Well, oops, I hit the wrong button. What about if we make 13 closed session, 14 action from closed session, and 15 adjourned?
Sounds good to me. All right, that sounds good. And under number 6, F, Roman number 3, we need to add to that RVEC field trip. I think that's what it is, correct, Dr. Myrick?
It is our field trip for RVEC and the high school.
Okay.
Senior trip.
Okay.
What was that, Rubber Sykes?
Under number 6F, Roman
Okay.
number 3,
Okay.
we need to add field trip, RVEC field trip. And you said high school, is this all into one?
Yes, sir. It's RVEC and the high school is the senior trip.
Okay, all right. Got it. All right. All right, does everybody have those notations? And just for everything to be in sync, under 11, we changed that to discussion/action, and we're replacing A with rebuild or rehab high school. We're taking out B. We're taking out that particular thing until next month, and B would become board committees and C would become board meeting locations. Everyone have that? Are we all clear?
Clear.
Yes.
All right. With that being said, a motion is in order to approve the agenda as we have made additions and deletions.
I make a motion that we approve the agenda with the said additions and deletions.
Second.
Thank you so much. The motion has been moved by Mrs. Tanya Bird Robinson and seconded. I believe that was Ms. K Robinson, correct?
Yes.
All right, that we approve tonight's agenda with the additions and deletions that have been proposed. You've heard that. And if I need to say the removal or the additions and the deletions, that we would delete Roman number 2 under 6C until November, that we would change number 11, that we would change, or add under 6F, Roman number E, RVEC and high school senior trips, and number 11, that we would change to discussion and action, that we would replace number A or letter A under number 11 to rebuild or rehab high school, and we will make board committees item 11B, board meeting location 11C, and we will make number 13 closed session, number 14 action from closed session, and number 15, which we will add, will be our adjournment. You heard that motion with the stated additions and deletions. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, would you let it be known by your voice vote? O.D. Sykes, aye. Ms. Bird Robinson,
Aye.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. K. Robinson,
Aye.
Mrs. Harrison,
Yes.
Mrs. Jenkins. All right, let the record reflect unanimous approval of the 6 board members present for our meeting tonight. Thank you so much, fellow board members. At this time, we will go right into the approval of the minutes from our previous meetings. Hopefully everyone received their minutes. Are there any questions concerning our minutes from our last open session meeting? Hearing none, a motion is in order to approve our minutes.
I move that we approve the minutes for (9/25/2021) retreat, 9/23/2021 regular board meeting, and 9/2/2021 special call meeting. We
Second.
approved as printed.
Motion has been moved and properly second that we accept the minutes from the aforementioned dates of our open sessions. Was motioned by Ms. K. Robinson and seconded by Mrs. Bird Robinson to approve those minutes. You heard that motion. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, would you let it be known by your voice vote? Ms. K. Robinson,
Aye.
Mrs. Harrison,
Yes.
Mrs. Jenkins,
Aye.
Mrs. Bird Robinson,
Aye.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
and O.D. Sykes, aye. Let the record reflect unanimous approval of the minutes from the aforementioned dates. All right. All right. At this time, we will now go into our reports. And Dr. Myrick, if you would share with us your report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening, Chairman Sykes, board, principals, district staff, students, parents, and community. We are committed to leading, teaching, and learning with high expectations every day. Many people in our district today are wearing the color purple in recognition of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Throughout this month, we recognize Breast Cancer Awareness Month and honor those affected by it. This month is also Principals Month. And at this time, I'm going to ask Mr. Redmond if he will share a special video tribute to our principals. Our principals are here, and I'm going to just ask them if they can step to the door because this tribute was done especially for them.
Happy Principals Month, Ms. Jones. We appreciate you here at Welding Elementary Global Academy for your hard work and dedication to the students and staff. We wish you much success in your endeavors.
I am LaTanya Vincent, kindergarten teacher at Welding Elementary Global Academy. Ms. Jones, you are a true gem. We thank you for all the love, care, and dedication that you give to the students and staff of Welding Elementary Global Academy. Thank you for all that you do. Happy Principals Month.
Happy Principals Month.
Happy Principals Month.
My name is Christian Robinson. We are celebrating our principal, Dr. Robinson. Dr. Robinson cares and loves about her students so much. The 8th grade was short of 2 teachers and we only had 1 teacher, Ms. Clark. But Dr. Robinson came in and she assigned us work to help us get the extra knowledge that we needed.
Hello, my name is Maria Graham. Our principal is not only about our education, she also supports us outside of school with our extracurricular activities and sports. She's also easy to talk to, and she cares about our well-being.
Happy Principals Month.
Happy Principals Month.
All right, thank you, Dr. Robinson, for being a outstanding principal, person, and individual that steps up and beyond your call of duty. We thank you for not only just being a principal, but being a friend and a confidant that we can confide in and talk to. And on behalf of Welding Still Middle School, we want to tell you thank you, not for being a perfect person, but being perfect in your actions and your intentions to try to strive to make this school better. Thank you again. We love you and we wish you the best. Happy Principals Month.
On behalf of Welding STEM High School Career Academies, Mr. Waddy, happy National Principals Month. Thank you for all you do.
Mr. Waddy, happy National Principals Month on behalf of the staff here at Welding STEM High School Career Academies.
All right, hello, I'm Bryson Williams, and I want to speak about my appreciation to Mr. Pullen. I thank him for being such a great principal to us, especially me, myself, because I go through so many things at home, and he always makes a way, and he always speaks with my teachers, and he makes sure that I'm okay, and he always reaches out and helps whenever, I need help. As well as he's real lenient. He's a cool principal as well. He does a lot for us students, especially me, like I spoke before, and I'm just greatly appreciative of what he has done for me and for my fellow classmates.
My name is Paris Robinson, and I'm here to say my appreciation for Mr. Pulley. He's always there for me and my peers, as well as everyone else around us. He pushes me to become better, do better on the college side and the high school side, and he makes sure everyone is okay emotionally and physically, and that is why I appreciate him so much. He cares for us, and he always checks on us to make sure that we're doing okay and that we're doing emotionally okay, as well as doing good with our school grades as well. And I appreciate him for everything that he does.
On behalf of all of us, the staff and the students at Roanoke Valley Early College, Mr. Pullen, thank you so much for being such a wonderful leader and principal. You truly make this like a family environment for us to come to every day.
Greetings, principals. I'm delighted to share in this tribute to you all. Such esteemed colleagues you are. Mrs. Jones, when I think of you, I think of the passion that makes you a principal of purpose. You remind us why we come to work each and every day. Dr. Robinson, what a great servant leader you are. You're a principal of the people. All is not well unless all are well. Mr. Waddy, we sincerely appreciate your eagerness to learn. You're a principal of the possibilities, preparing our scholars for the real world. Mr. Pullen, what a wealth of knowledge you bring to Welding City Schools. You're a principal of the promise of rewarding post-secondary pathways. All of you are principals of the potential of our scholars and our employees too. We sincerely appreciate what you do to make Welding City Schools a great place to learn, to grow, and to work. Happy National Principals Month.
Happy Principals Month.
That concludes my comments for the evening.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Myrick, for your comments and your report for this evening. Thank you so much. And we certainly do echo those concerns. The principles mean so much to all of us individually and collectively. So thank you so much for that presentation this evening for our principals. Let me just be very, very brief. I want to, on behalf of our Board of Education, wish all of our students and our employees and all stakeholders within our school district happy birthday for your birth month here in October, and hope that you have many more years of birth. Also, myself and Mr. Williams, we're going to be talking when we get to number 11 quite a bit. So I'm going to pause my comments for there. And I just want to say to our teachers and our students, our very precious gems and jewels, and our stakeholders, that we appreciate your hard work. We appreciate your efforts in helping to make Welding City Schools a great place to learn and a great place to excel and exceed. Thank you so very, very much. We will move right into our building and grounds report. Let us see, Roman number 1. Do we have Mr. Turner? Is he there?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Good evening, board chair, board members. I stand before you with Mr. Turner, and we're going to present our buildings and grounds report for this month. In your assembly, in your attached files, you'll see that one of the first slide indicates progressive design collaborative projects. These are the projects that are to be completed, paid for with our ERSA funds. And once the IPPAs are approved, these agreements that are approved that we're presenting for you tonight, the timeline of work that has been also attached in assembly will be followed as it is printed. The work will begin in spring of 2022 when the weather is better. And also all of our materials have been secured. And also the projects will include projects at the elementary school for HVAC replacement, and at the STEM high school, career academies, HVAC, and roofing. Also, when you look at the IPPA agreement, they talk about the amount that will be budgeted for these projects. So I present to you all the documents that were in assembly. I present the IPPA agreements to the board for approval.
Mr. Chair, I have a question.
I'm trying to see, was that Ms. K. Robinson?
Yes.
Before you ask your question, in as much as the director, the maintenance director is there with you, Ms. Deborah, you are presenting, but I think it's only fair that we hear from our maintenance director. So I need for those amounts and what it is allocated for shared so our community and our stakeholders can hear what we're trying to do in Welding as far as maintaining our buildings.
Okay, certain, not a problem at all.
Okay. Thank you, folks. How y'all doing tonight?
Right.
Okay, the scope of work, is gonna be based on the locations we got the work going on to. Replacement of the 5 units at Welding Elementary is going to around $270,000. The addition for the ductless, some of the classrooms are going to have a ductless system put in, because right now there's nothing in there. It's got 2 classrooms that don't have anything in them at all. They're going to run about $15,000. And let's see here. Now this is dealing with the bid documents. Scope and clearly indicated for some money is at $40,000. Electrical is going to be around $30,000. 10% contingency is going to be $37,000. The total amount come back at $443,630. The scope of work at the high school, we got basically the whole building itself, as far as HVAC work, which would be every unit we got to replace on top, plus doing the work in the gym. Let's see, new addition for HVAC in the gym, actually for the gym itself is around $625,000. The new ductless and venting area, actually with the concession stand, is going to run about $45,000. Electrical and heat in the lobby and toilets is going to be around $4,000. Demo of existing boiling items is around $15,000. Fire alarm and new units and duct detectors for AHUs around $30,000. Electrical service upgrade to units is going to be around $150,000. Let's see, Chase's wall patching, fencing, and etc. like around the outside is going to be around $100,000, and 10% of contingency on that $86,900. The total is $1 million. This one or this one? Okay, it's $1,150,931. Okay, and then the roofing projects, basically is the front part of the lobby and the gym. It's like 4,500 square feet. That's going to run us around $85,500. And the area of the lobby is going to be $8,500. And subtotal on that with the, let's see, allowance in areas is extra $5,000. The total is $99,050. Right, it's down to $17,634. And when we start these projects, we're gonna make sure we're with these people too. I want to let y'all know that we're gonna make sure we watch these folks as they go along to make sure the scope of work is gonna be done the way we think it should be done. Nothing's gonna be left out. We'll make sure that happens this time. And basically, I think the architects we got will really work with us on that too. So I really feel like they're gonna be doing what needs to be done. And I've talked to him several times. He'll call me whenever he needs. He said he would call me back. I'll meet me here, whatever we will need to do. And y'all need to be informed as we go along what needs to be done.
Most certainly.
And thank y'all.
All right, Miss, before you leave, Mr. Turner, Miss K. Robinson, you had a question?
Yes. I see the project for weather with the habit replacement. In the past, you told us about how bad their roof was. I see it listed as an upcoming project, but is it not that bad anymore?
You talking about actually the area in front of the gym?
No, elementary.
On the elementary, we're gonna try to work on getting prices on those 3 sections, like we did at the lunchroom at the high school. I'm working on some prices right now to get those 3 sections done. And maybe we can use capital outlay on those. But yes, ma'am, we definitely do something 3 sections, especially the section that where they actually belongs to the principal's area. It's where the 2 bands come together. And that's where the issue, because it's cascading down the walls on the inside. So same man's gonna do the lunchroom. He's gonna look at doing these areas too and save us some money too, because he's local. And he's gonna give us a 10-year warranty. And to me, that's better than what we had to start with. So
I just wanted to know because I know a roof is important,
Yes,
especially
ma'am.
when we get into the winter months. We don't want our babies.
yes,
No
ma'am.
need to fix the habit. If it's gonna be
Exactly.
raining in the building.
And it won't me so bad. They should last longer than what they did. So
Thank
yes, ma'am. Any more
So,
questions?
Mr. Turner.
Yes, sir.
What I am looking at, the construction budget or the total that we will be looking at to do what needs to be done with the gym and with the high school gym and the high school buildings themselves, as for itself rather, with the individual classrooms, with the HVAC units and whatever roof and all that needs to be done. We're looking at a total, I'm just going to use an approximate number of about 1.2 million, correct?
Yes, sir. That's exactly
Okay.
right.
And then at the elementary school, we're looking at upgrades and things of that nature in the same light, the HVAC systems and where we have some other repairs that need to be done. We're looking at a little better than 400,000, correct?
Yes, sir. $443,630.
400 and, okay, all right. Adding the 36,000 and the 407 together, you're saying?
Right.
Okay, all right. Now, my question with that, all of this money that we have in the ESSER funds, is that going to cover all of the repairs? I know you just mentioned about some other things at the elementary school that we will possibly be looking at with capital outlay, but this may as well say the 1.5 million, basically, would that all be ESSER funds?
Yeah, because we've allocated 2.7 million for the ESSER fund, so that should take care of what we got going on those. Yes, sir.
All right. That's what I wanted to hear. I didn't want it to be said because the community is listening. I
Yes,
wanted
sir.
the community to know and our stakeholders to know that we have received those funds in our ESSER amounts that have been allocated, and that we're planning to upgrade our buildings to make sure that there is sufficient heat and air and the roofs and all are fixed for
Yes,
not
sir.
only our students, but our employees as well.
Yes, sir. And we're looking at actually controlling everything, all the systems. We can actually control it from our office too. So we can see what the temperatures are in every classroom this time too. Because we're gonna try to updo the controls and everything too, because that way now, basically what you got now, we don't know what's going on unless we go over there. And this,
Right.
We'll go to Wi-Fi on these and we'll be actually tell what's going on every day. And I do the middle school like that now. I check that every morning when I come in, just to make sure what's going on is still working fine.
But
I
now
want to
with
do the
that,
whole system like that.
with that controller now, it will not eliminate that individual teacher from adjusting in their class, in his or her classroom, correct?
No, sir. They can still actually move the temperature up and down.
Okay.
And they can
All
set
right.
it now. There's still gonna be a 3-degree temperature in between that they can only go to now, because we can't let them go all the way down to 60 degrees. It's still gonna be set like 72. Then if it comes to be a problem that's not cool enough, we can come down to 70. But we can't go below 70 any more than that. That's- State guidelines say we shouldn't go no more than 72, but we will give them 70. Especially
Okay.
if it's such an old building, you know, it takes longer for it to get cooler, so that would help that a whole lot, so.
Right.
But I
And-
just want to be able to control what we're doing from day to day to see if it's actually working or not. And that will
Right.
tell me if it's actually working or not too.
And I totally understand that, but I also understand the physical location of some of our classes. And if the sun is shining directly in, of course, it's going to be hotter. So we need to have that adjustment. Or if it's on the back side, it may be a little cooler in the winter.
That's right. And they'll be able to do that too. Yep.
Okay, good. Any other questions?
Yes, Mr.
You're frozen.
I have a question about, did you say? Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Who did you say, and it may have been that my computer was messing up. Did you say who we had bids from?
We're still taking bids. It will be actually after the first of the year before we actually start taking overall bids on what's going on, because it's so late in the year. It's going to be probably after Christmas we actually start taking bids, or around Christmas area is what we're talking about. So hopefully by the first year we have something in place.
You said something about someone being local.
What we'll end up doing is we'll actually bid this out. We'll actually advertise it, and local people can bid on it too. So it will be advertised so everybody in the area can actually look at it.
I think she's referring to when you're talking about the roof at the elementary school.
Oh, no, that will be local people looking at that to do that job, because it's under the actual price. We can actually bid that locally. We don't have to outsource it. Because actually the one at the high school come on $9,700 just for the lunch room. I thought that was a real good price. And he's gonna give us 10-year warranty on that.
So we already have those estimates already, is what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am. He actually done bid it, and he actually got the bid supposed to start on Monday if the materials comes in or not. And I hope you do. That's really gonna be our issue on a lot of things is the materials, especially anything doing the kind of rubber materials. Just like on some of the faucets and stuff we got, we're having a hard time getting valves because they're having a hard time getting those seals because of the rubber stuff they're made out of. But we've got some on back on some of that stuff being too. So it's just a problem, anything dealing with membrane stuff, because it's made out of the rubber stuff, they just can't get it right now. But he's working on the high school hard to get that one done. But start on the Monday. I talked to him yesterday. He said someone had come in, but all that has not come in yet. So hopefully by Monday it'll be in. They start on it.
All right. But these are approximate figures for the major work, and they're going to be everything is going to be bidded out, and we'll get 3 bids, I guess, and see where we come in and make a decision from whatever comes in, because somebody may come in under what we are actually proposing, but of course we'll see when that comes in.
That's true. Yep. But we do have to take 3 bids because of the way the contract's set up, because it's federal money, so we have to take 3 bids no matter what.
Gotcha. All right. Any other question?
I'd like to say thank y'all. I'm looking forward to this stuff to get started.
We are too. Yes, long time coming, especially that adding that gymnasium, long time coming.
Yes. I totally agree with that one.
And our students need it in the classrooms most of all.
Yes. And plus you're looking at basically at the high school, y'all know for those systems actually run over almost 20 years longer than they should have had. And we still kept them working, but they actually lasted longer than I thought they would have had. So I thank the good Lord for that too.
Mr. Turner, I do have one final question before we finish this part. Now, when we actually get to our the point where we can rehab or build new our high school, would those units be able to be transferred to the new building?
It would depend on how we actually reconstruct the building itself, as far as the roof lines. If we go with a new metal roof, no.
Okay.
You wouldn't be able to sit that type system on top of a metal roof with a pitch on it. You'd have to go to the like split systems. We're doing several of those. That's what you would have to go to, would be a mini split system, which the unit would be on a centralized location. One unit could do like 5 classrooms, and it's just a piping line that would go into the classroom itself. But you couldn't sit those units on top of a new roof type if we decided to go that direction.
Okay.
But it would be too hard to make actually retrofit to make a new construction. You'd have to go to new type systems as far as mini splits to make those work.
Well, I hope that we can keep that in mind. I don't know exactly, how somebody would bid it or what type systems we would be looking at the HVAC systems. But I hope that we will keep that in mind. You know,
if possible,
that could be some cost savings, you know, as far as the HVAC units for our classrooms when we get this this rehab or this rebuild, whichever one it will be and whenever it will be. I think especially if we can get that done in the next couple of years, that will be an opportunity to have some cost savings.
That would be
our district.
Yes, sir, it would. And I wish we, and if we could, and if they can, we'll make sure that works out.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Any other questions?
Mr. Turner?
Yes, ma'am.
So I know that we had some issues, as we just talked about with the HVAC system, with the air at the elementary school in the cafeteria.
Yeah.
What about the heat? Is that working?
Now the heat works in the big lobby. That same system in the lunchroom area, that system was gone before the air conditioner did. But when they actually cook in the lunchroom, it generates enough heat. It don't really affect that, but we're hoping we can get that bidded out. We're still trying to do those, the elementary and those sections as quick as possible. And maybe by January, we still get that system done to that. So we're not just gonna forget the elementary, we're gonna try to go bid that quick as we can to get that done before the spring starts. And hopefully we can get it done during January and February, but depends on how the weather does, but we still gonna bid those now on those five systems over there. We're gonna try to get that done now if possible.
So we don't have any heat in the cafeteria, in the area where the staff work, and we don't have it out in the area where the students.
No, with the students where we have heat now, just in the lunchroom area itself, there's no heat now. And that's been going on for almost 5 years. I actually had that conversation with Mr. Jones when he was here.
It's been going on for 5 years and we're just starting to look at it?
We've been looking at it. I priced it several times and it just didn't never fall through. So it's gonna get fixed this time. Especially since everybody knows what's going on. I'm glad of that too.
There were some pictures that you had said to us several months back, Mr. That you were going to bring to us, and we still have not received those. Do you have those pictures, or is it some way you can get them sent over to us?
Yes, ma'am. I surely can. And I've got some pictures of some other stuff too going in the middle school too, which I know that's be next month, but I got pictures of old stuff of that. I don't throw anything away. I've got pictures of everything we've done. Even when 5 years ago, when I found that unit was bad, I got pictures of that too. So I'll be glad to show it to the board. So, but like I said, I'm hoping we can go ahead and get that bidded out and get that done between now and January and February. If we can, if the unit's available, because that's 8.5 ton unit, if we can get it, they can put it in one weekend. They're talking about doing work on weekends too, so hopefully we can get that done. Yeah.
And Mr. Turner, one thing just came to mind. One thing just came to mind from a meeting that I was involved in this week. At the middle school, the way the tile was popping, do we still have the problem in certain areas with the mildew and the tile popping up on the floor?
Yes, sir. I got pictures of that too.
How is that water coming down? I know the school is built basically lower than, you know, up on the road. So that water is just coming down a hill.
What you got to remember, if you drive into the middle school, if you look at those pine trees at the top to the far left,
right,
that's the height of that property, and they cut it down.
Right.
That property was cut down, brought to the far end of the gym. The problem we got at the middle school right now, as far as the moisture problem right now, is the moisture barrier deteriorating. That's one of the biggest issues, and the moisture is pushing through the concrete itself. And when we done some core drilling down there 4 or 5 years ago, they determined that they used a cheaper barrier in the ground, and it's totally deteriorating. That building's 21 years old now. There's no telling how bad it is now. So we're going to reevaluate that. And he'll tell you on the insurance part of it, we used what we could when we had it. And we actually sandblasted the very back section of the hall. I got pictures of that too that I gave the other night. Y'all need to look at those. Now that one section down towards the gym, it was right at $85,000 when we sandblasted and used a new type sealer on it, and it's actually holding up. So, but you're only talking about 100 feet though. That was very, very expensive.
Right.
So, but that is a cure for it, but it's going to be very, very expensive. And the hallway, if you first walk in the front door, goes straight down towards the gym. That floor has been replaced 4 times. It's coming up again right now. It's coming up right now. I got pictures of that too. But when I come to work here almost 20 years ago, the first thing I absorbed was that. He'll tell you when I started calling Rob about what was going on. They had a problem when the building was built for moisture coming up through the slab originally.
Exactly.
Day one when it was built, and nothing was then it come to actually, I forgot what the settlement was, what they settled this. We've used that, that's gone. But I'm saying the section they did do that time, it actually held up. I've got pictures right now. We took the old floor tiles up, expansion joints. I can stick my hand down in the floor. And I don't know how that passed inspection. It shouldn't have passed inspection, but it did. And they covered it up with tile.
You said exactly what I wanted to hear tonight, Mr. Turner. From the very beginning, when that school was built, it was a problem with moisture. It was a problem with the soil because it's lower than the school sets much lower than the property at the top of the road. You're basically coming in and like you're going down a slope, and that water runs down. That land holds a whole lot of moisture. You're saying everything that I needed to hear and that I knew. That land down there. I'm with you. I don't know how it passed inspection with as all of the moisture that's there. I mean, it's.
And if you think about it, they cut it almost 18 foot worth of depth when they cut it. You've gone to the ground table of water at the front side of that section where the lunchroom area is. They took dirt from the back, moved it to where the gym is, and that's always been field dirt. So we've actually, and another thing is, I got pictures of, we get settlement cracks all over the whole building now, not in expansion joints, but all over the whole building. We got walls cracking at 45-degree angle through the whole block runs.
Right.
Pictures of that. We need to make sure that everybody sees that. And we've done that walkthrough when, what was it, 2 years ago? When the county commissioners come down, we done a walkthrough then. That's when we start seeing those cracks. And now they've gotten worse since those days.
Right.
We need to make sure somebody looks at that too, because that's definitely an issue. Because now you got expansion joints that's supposed to crack, and it's designed for that. Well, now we got joints cracking ain't near expansion joint. It's out in the middle of the what I call the drop wall. It's cracking in and running 45-degree angle, and it shouldn't be cracking there because that's carrying weight, and it shouldn't be cracking.
Sure.
That's telling me the foundation is actually going into the ground.
And Mr. Turner, we really need those pictures. We really need all of that information that you just said. We need it tangibly, because as we go forward, we need to have that tangible information accessible as we're talking about, moving forward in Weldon. And especially when we, prepare to talk to the county commissioners about whether it's going to be a rehab or a rebuild at the high school and how we're going to do that. We need to have that information accessible.
Rod, you still got some of the information from the original. Rod should have everything when this stuff started beginning. We started digging into this. He's still gonna have all the information, the legal side that we were trying to figure out what's going on. And that should be documented. So if you want my honest opinion, rebuild the high school and move to middle school.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We need all of that information. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Turner.
Thank y'all for the line.
All right.
We still got something else. We'll get Deborah. I got a motion. Where we at? You got to do this. Y'all got to do it.
So you're asking them to approve the IPPA?
Yes.
Say that again.
We're presenting the IPPA agreements for the board's approval.
Those are the two agreements to hire the three agreements to hire the architect. Two agreements to hire the architects to authorize the architect to proceed with the HVAC work.
I thought we said we were bidding them out.
No, this is the architect or the design team to put the plans and specs together for the work to be bid, and then they'll also oversee the work to make sure that it's done correctly.
Gotcha. And Mr. Turner, as I just asked, please make sure that when you all talk to them, be it you, be it Attorney Malone, be it Ms. Debro, that those units, if we can, that we have specifications so they could be put into the new high school when that rehab or that rebuild comes. Please notate that. And if we need to make that a part of the vote, we'll do that as well.
So we can figure that out. And I will ask him his opinion too on how we could actually work some of that out. One way you could is actually put them in a centralized location in Douglas. Then we got to make sure that where they are, they can't be a bother. The children can actually put their hands on them.
Right.
Then we actually go to the ground level, and then you have to make sure they can seal them, but can't get to a knock compressors out of it. But on top of the roof, you don't have that issue. But I'm saying, if we go to a new type metal roof, that's gonna be a hard issue to put that type unit on top of it. Because it's gonna have at least a 3 and 12 pitch fall on it. It's kind of hard to set the unit on top of something like that, because it's not gonna be a flat roof anymore.
Yeah, I think we'll certainly make sure we mention that to them,
Yes.
whether we can guarantee it will happen or be told the different things. I mean, it's, you know,
If possible, we'll make
it's
sure we
just
can work it
the
in.
technology and what you may want to put in the rehab or the school just may not align, but we'll
That's true.
certainly mention it to them.
And I really don't want to get into a chiller or boiler system like at the middle school. And the reason why is, once that system goes down, the whole building's down. When you got individual units on one classroom, it's down when you have an issue with one unit. If you start going to chillers and boilers like we got everywhere else, it's more, you're talking about $1.5 million just to do a boiler and chiller system. But then you're talking about when that system goes down, the whole school's down.
Right. All right. Thank you so much. Any further discussion or question? If not, a motion is in order that we approve the IPPA agreement for our elementary school and high school buildings respectfully.
I'll make a motion that we approve our IPPA agreement for the high school and the elementary school for the HVAC.
Was there a second?
K. Robinson.
Okay, all right. I think the mic blinked a little bit. It has been motioned and properly second that we approve the IPPA agreements for the high school and elementary school HVAC projects with the understanding if we can make those units where they can be transferred to the high school rebuild or rehab if possible. Can I say it that way?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You've heard that motion that has been properly seconded. Is there any further discussion or unreadiness? Hearing none, all in favor of that motion, would you let it be known by your voice vote? O.D. Sykes, aye. Ms. Bird Robinson?
Aye.
Ms. K. Robinson?
Aye.
Mrs. Harrison?
Yes.
Mrs. Jenkins?
No.
And Mr. Williams?
Yes.
All right. Let the record reflect unanimous approval of the 6 board members present on tonight. Thank you all so very, very much.
Thank you so much, board. Our next slide, and there's a little bit more that we need to cover, and we're going to be brief. Our next slide talks about projects across the district. Just to give you all a little heads up of the projects that we've been working on. And we had the Andrew Jackson property, projects at the Welding Elementary Global Academy, the middle school, the high school, as well as on the grounds. Mr. Turner, he's here to answer questions. If you have any questions about any of these particular areas, but I will give you a snippet. And that with the Andrew Jackson property, they worked on sealing the windows with metal and making sure that the property is safe in case someone should go around it. The elementary schools, they're working on maintaining the work that is done, and we've also been putting in efforts to get some of the roof repairs done. Middle school, we've worked on the lights in the parking lot as well. Those are fixed, and we're waiting on the canopy lights for the back and the front because they have several lights that are out. So we're waiting for those to arrive so we can fix those. In addition, at the elementary school, I'm sorry, I forgot, we did order the canopy for the students to be, so that on rainy days, when they get off the bus, they can walk underneath the canopy. That's a replacement. At the high school, we worked on football field prep. Also, we worked with Mr. Todd, who's going to be working on the lunchroom roof. And also, that's, as Kenny just mentioned, pending the arrival of supplies. And then we also have been putting forth efforts to get bids or quotes for the conversion of the football field lights in preparation of next year, because we did have significant issues with those lights this year. And then as far as grounds, Carlton Boone began working with the grass cutting and weed eating. And so those are the projects that we've been working, or that maintenance has been working with across the district. And then the last slide just shows our upcoming projects. And these are not just 2, 3, 4 months projects, but they are things that we're talking about weekly in our maintenance meeting to discuss where we are and how do we move forward. And as principals identify needs in their schools, they're notifying myself and Kenny through our work order program. And then what we do is dole out the work based on priority, and then we'll continue to work on our long range plans. So are there any additional questions for myself or Mr. Kenny?
Yes, I have a question for Mr. Turner. I know y'all saying the projects that you're doing at the Welding Elementary and all the schools. What about that back gate? Did we ever get anything done for that?
Yes, it's fixed, it's done.
We got that done.
It's actually it's 2 gates now, so all of these are open and closed.
Okay, and secondly, I guess you or Ms. Deborah, Mr. Boone, we hired him for maintenance. Now, is he really helping Mr. Daniel cutting the grass and doing?
And whatever he needs done, he's helping him. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Just want to make sure that he's assisting him, because that's what we had him for, to help Mr. Daniel with the grass. Okay.
I have a question about grass.
Yes, ma'am.
The Andrew Jackson building in Halifax.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that grass being maintained?
They worked on it yesterday, and they actually weeded some today too, so yes, ma'am.
What about across the street that we own?
Yes, because the county's on, the historical folks is on that big time. We've been going to run a tractor, that big tree fell, and that's our responsibility to move that tree, so I'm gonna talk to Ms. Deborah about that too.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Turner, what about the grass on the playground at the elementary school?
You talking about in the playground areas? We just
Mhm.
took care of that. Mr. Boone worked on that yesterday too. And we got mulch coming Monday morning to remulch everything, both playgrounds. So we're gonna mulch everything again Monday because it's coming in Monday. So it's getting all new mulch in both playgrounds and the old playground too. So yes, ma'am. And it's been sprayed with weed kill.
All right. Any other question? If not, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. Y'all have a good night.
Okay.
All right. All right, moving on, letter D. Next is our monthly financial statements.
Good evening, Dr. Merritt, Board Chair, Board members. The monthly financial statement for the month of September 2021, starting with the current expense fund 2. Revenues, the beginning balance is $195,627.53. Total month deposits for month to date is $848,149.69. Year to date, $1,043,777.22. Expenditures beginning balance, $223,335.78. Total expenditures for the month to date, $194,914.80. Year to date, $418,250.58. The net result for the year to date, $625,526.64. Unobligated fund balance, $2,016,794.92. Local expense fund, Fund 8. Revenues beginning balance, $58,604.66. Total month deposits month to date, $20,524.90. Year to date, $79,129.56. Expenditures beginning balance, $111,861.07. Total expenditure month to date, $90,057.55. Year to date, $201,918,000.62. The net result for the year is a negative $122,789.06. Unobligated fund balance, $501,846.34. Child nutrition expense funds, revenue beginning balance, $86,694.66. Total month deposits month to date, $102,346.30. Year to date, $189,040.96. Expenditures beginning balance, $86,686.40. Total expenditures for the month to date, $64,957.47. Year to date, $151,643.87. Net result for the year, $37,397.09. Unobligated fund balance, $312,494.09. Capital outlay expense funds, revenues beginning balance, $26,169.35. Total month deposits month to date, $12,744.22. Year to date, $38,913.57. Expenditures beginning balance, $9,138.69. Total expenditures for the month to date, $22,384.78. Year to date, $31,523.47. Net result for the year, $7,390.10. Unobligated fund balance, $537,515.10.
Ms. Boyd,
Yes, sir.
on our local expense fund 8, I see that we're in the red for the year currently right now for the year 122,000. Do you know what that is attributed to?
Yes, sir. In the revenue section, the items that don't have an amount beside them, those are items that have not come in yet.
And these are funds that are normally late. Sometimes it comes in September, and then other times it comes in later, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Any other questions? All right, if not, Ms. Boyd, thank you so much for sharing our September monthly financials, or the month of September financials.
You're welcome.
All right.
Mr. Chair, we need a motion for our amendments.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to ask if we have any questions on them. Did everybody receive the amendments?
Yes.
Right. Is there a motion to?
I have a question first.
Yes, go right ahead.
Federal Amendment number 4. Supplies and materials, private schools, $32,876.50. Is that what we pay, like the kit?
Which one was that? I'm sorry.
Supplies and materials, private schools, private schools. So federal amendment number 4.
32,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That's a good question. I will have to make a notation of that to Ms. Campbell and ask the Dr. Myrick send your response.
Okay.
What about the pre-K snacks?
Who are you?
The pre-K mats?
Snacks.
Oh, pre-K snacks.
Where are you at, Ms. Bird Robinson? But you're muted.
That was on the last one that she just showed. I don't remember at the top of it which fund it was.
You said, oh, you talking about in the monthly financial?
Financial statement.
Yes.
What fund was that?
I don't remember. You just had that one up, that last one. You said it was which one? I'm not sure which one it
I
was.
think it's child nutrition.
Child
Yeah.
nutrition.
Okay.
And I believe, Mr. Chair, if I may, under the question Ms. K. Robinson asked about was Fund 8, the amendment for number 8, that is a set-aside amount because we have to set aside a certain amount for charter schools with the funding that we receive. And then Mrs. Alston has to invite the charter school to let them know that these funds are available for them because it's federal money.
Right. Did that answer your question, Miss Bird Robinson?
That was my question.
That was Ms. Robinson.
Yes.
Oh,
but I
Ms.
see-
Robinson, I apologize.
Yeah, I see mine up here as well. The one I want, it was from child nutrition.
Okay. So the private schools, you all right with that, Miss K. Robinson?
Well, when we had our budget meeting, we were told that there's a process that has to be done. And I would just need to know if that's the final amount or is that just set aside just in case? Or what the final amount is and how many students did that entail? If it's $32,000.
Generally speaking, for those funds, it's typically the percentage that we have to get based on the private schools, based on the number of students that we may have in private schools. So this number that's in here, I can't say for certain, but it's probably based on the number of students that we have that live in Welding School District that attend private schools.
I had a question on federal amendment number 7.
Before you move on, Miss K. Robinson, are you satisfied with that, or do you want to pull that into next month to get clarity?
Yes.
And Ms. Alston is on line as well, Mr. Chair. She was traveling back from a conference this evening, and she can speak to that as well if you would like her to.
If she can give clarity.
Yes, sir. Good evening, board chair, board members, and superintendent.
Good evening.
The monies that is the allocation for Halifax Academy to receive Title II, some of our Title II funding. As it was stated earlier, it is a requirement that we have to invite our local private schools to participate in all of our federal funds. Just as we had previously, they were a part of our ESSA monies under the CARES Act. So Title II is the only federal funds that Halifax Academy has asked to be a part. And of course, that's due to the restrictions. It's a little lighter for them to do Title II. So the entire $32,000 is for Halifax Academy.
Okay.
You good, Miss K. Robinson?
Good.
All right.
I have another question.
Hold on one second, Miss Bird Robinson. I'll come right back to you because Miss K. Robinson said that she had a follow-up with a different amendment, or is yours on the same amendment?
Okay.
Miss Bird Robinson, is yours on the same amendment?
No.
Okay, all right.
I think so.
I'll come right back. Ms. K. Robinson?
Federal Amendment number 7. I see regular curriculum salary specialist for $97,200 3 times, and I just need to know why. Yeah, 3 times. And it's increasing that budget 3 times.
If it's the budget, if it's the ESSA, is it 181? Is it the budget code 181?
Yes.
In that code, we had set aside for those specialists to be at each school, one for the elementary school, one for the middle school, and one to be shared for the high school. Those were positions that were allocated in the ESSER funds.
Are those the interventionists?
Yes, ma'am, I believe so. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So we're saying $97,000 3 times. I mean, we're talking about just a few $1,000s away from $300,000 in that respect. I mean, and this is an increase.
And I stand to be corrected because they were, they're keyed in LBAS in a certain way, but that was to my understanding, to allocate those funds for 3 years to ensure that we could carry, have the money set aside to ensure that we could employ those individuals for those years. So we had to allocate it. And I believe Ms. Campbell said it would, had it so it would be kind of clean. So you would see each year, but it is for 3 different individuals to work at the schools, because we did have 2 set aside, but it is set aside to ensure that we had funding to cover those individuals to specialize in assisting the teachers and students with student support as well.
But nobody has been hired as of this point, correct?
No, sir. And I think coming up, Dr. Meyer has some additional information where we are amending the budget for some additional items as well. But no, sir, there has been advertisement, but no one has been employed in those positions as of yet.
All right.
Thank you.
Ms. Bird Robinson?
So question about the supplies and materials on Fund 2, Current Expense Fund 2.
Are you going back to the financial report?
Okay, what was the question?
What was purchased? It just says supplies, materials, and then it says $6,213.13.
Let's see this. And materials. Okay, Ms. Barry Robinson, I'm gonna have to make a notation of that for Ms. Campbell and ask the Dr. Myrick to send you a response.
All right, any other questions? Okay, a motion is in order to approve or not approve the amendment.
Motion to approve the amendments.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned by Mr. Williams and seconded. I think that was Ms. K. Robinson, correct?
Yes.
All right, to approve the amendments as they have been presented tonight. You heard that motion. Is there any unreadiness? Hearing none, all in favor of that motion, would you let it be known by your voting sign? Mrs. Jenkins, your voice vote, Mrs. Jenkins? Mrs. Harrison?
Yes.
Ms. K. Robinson?
Aye.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Bird Robinson,
Aye.
OD Sykes, aye. Let the record reflect unanimous approval of the 6 board members present tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ford.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on to letter E. Instructional report.
Good evening, board chair, board members, superintendent Myrick, colleagues, and charter families.
Good evening.
So we're going to start with a little bit of good news. We had our Chick-fil-A Leadership Academy kickoff, and this was at our high school and at our vet. There are 15 participants at each school, and the students learn about leadership, and their culminating activity occurs in March, and that is a service learning project in the community. And also our virtual instruction plan has been approved by North Carolina DPI, and we'll talk about that a little more. Just some testing and school accountability information. These are assessments that we've had so far, as well as the ones coming up. We're still in our benchmark window for the fall. We have makeups tomorrow, and then we'll analyze that data and have PLCs at our schools. This is our updated virtual academy timeline. So you can see that the window opened on October 11th. It closes on Monday. The notification of acceptance is by November 1st, and virtual academy is set to begin on November 8th. We have created and uploaded a supplemental video for informational purposes for families, and currently the count is 30. That does not include, for the most part, students in the alternative learning arrangement. And now Ms. Nally.
Good evening, everyone, members of the school board, Dr. Mary, board chair. So I'm here to share with you updates from the EC Department, Student Services, and Pre-K. So for EC updates, I'll start off with the federal reports that are due for submission. Both our indicators 11 and 12 are due for submission October 29th. Also, we have nominated Mr. Corey Odom for the as the 2021 Educator of Excellence for Exceptional Children's Program. He will be recognized at the EC conference next month in Greensboro. So moving on to updates on the Student Services Department, we are observing several awareness topics such as the Disability Awareness Month, bullying prevention, Unity Day, as well as the Red Ribbon Week, which is going to be taking place next week. We are also providing weekly mental health tips for our staff as well as our families. So for Pre-K, we are on the last phase of the outdoor learning project. So last October 18th, one representative, the project coordinator from Halifax, Warren Smart Start, came to visit and took pictures of the beautiful landscape of the Pre-K site. Thank you.
On behalf of federal programs, some of the information has been shared by our maintenance department, but in collaboration of ensuring that the funding from our CARES Act, federal programs, we're looking at the carports for the Welding Elementary Schools. We've been purchasing sanitizer refills, gloves, face masks for the students and staff, multiple face masks. We've also did different sizes for the younger students, sanitizer spray, and we've also renewed our Google management software. The ESSA 2 funds have been used for an electric forklift that has been of dire need for a long time in the warehouse to assist with unloading the trucks. Vacuum cleaners were purchased for each school, as well as some additional maintaining the supply of kids' masks. ESSA 3 has covered the purchase of lawnmowers. So we have new lawnmowers that were purchased for each school. Continued, we have allocated and amended in order to purchase Edgenuity, Edmentum Study Island, and Case 21 software. Student water bottle purchases through the cafeteria. We have used the ESSA funds to reimburse the cafeteria for ordering our water bottles for the students. Cameras and lighting for meetings and such as the board meetings tonight. Computer monitors, laptops, and we're also in the process of ordering 2 sedans and 2 trucks for use in the district. But before I go further are there any questions with the funding, or then we can talk about additional items in the federal programs?
Ms. Austin.
Yes, ma'am.
The monitors that was used to check temperatures, where are those now? Because that came out of one of these funds, one of the federal.
You're talking about the thermo when you walk in, and they're still in the schools, in the beginning of the schools when you walk in, they're still there.
Are they being used?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. So they
should be. I believe the anticipation or the expectation is for them to be being used. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Also with federal programs, we've been working with our McKinney-Vento students, which are students that are in transition. Currently, the district has 15 referrals, and we currently have 3 students that are in foster care in our district. So right now I want to talk about a great partnership that we've had. Been using our community or utilizing community members to assist us with selecting our Employee of the Month for this month. And we'll do that to have a fair outside judgment of the submissions that have been submitted on behalf of Employee of the Month. And we encourage and invite everyone to make those submissions. We had Mr. Kristen Martin, parent, as well as Project Lift CEO, Chief Christopher Davis from the Welding Police Department. We also had Ms. Stephanie Smith from Family Supporting Families, Ms. Elizabeth Armstrong from Horseman Insurance, and then the funding that was provided for the plaques and gifts came from Ms. Cynthia Harris, CEO from CJH Educational Grant Services. So we want to also thank those for their participation, as well as we've done regular communications regarding the COVID-19 testing, virtual academy, and school operations with families and community. So with that to be said, we would like to now announce our Students of the Month for the month of October for Weldon City Schools. What a great way to highlight them in their extraordinary achievement. We have with Weldon Elementary School, Mr. Joaquin Ramsey Jr. He's a 4th grader at Weldon Elementary Global Academy and a great student in every way. He participates and works hard in class, encourages other classmates, and is always eager to learn more. He's an excellent role model for his classmates at WEGA and is always respectful towards his teachers, staff, and classmates. They are excited to have him as Student of the Month at Weldon Global Academy. He was nominated because he had significant progress in the classroom, notable consideration towards others, outstanding attitude and disposition, and exemplary character. So let's all, when we see him, give him a hand and acknowledge that we have heard about him at the Weldon City Schools Board of Education. Weldon Middle School, thank you. Weldon Middle School, we have Jordan Huff, who's a 5th grader. He's been recognized based on his outstanding grades. He's an excellent student, respectful, and hardworking. So please, when you see Mr. Jordan Huff, let him know that you heard about him as well at the Weldon City Schools Board of Education. Weldon High School have Ms. Adriana Britt, who's 11th grader in Weldon STEM High School, who was recognized for all of the accomplishments, significant progress in the classroom, marked improvement in her grades, leadership, notable consideration towards others, outstanding attitude, disposition, community involvement in service, and exemplary character. She has a 3.5 grade point average and an excellent attitude towards her learning process. She's been responsible and respectable with all of her teachers and others. She has an excellent record of attendance, excellent behavior, and self-control, and is opening to learning of a new culture. Let's give her a hand. Also last, we have Miss Camille Olston, a senior at Roanoke Valley Early College. She's recognized tonight for her notable consideration towards others and her exemplary character. She's being nominated as Roanoke Valley Student of the Month because she's a fun student who's also been nominated because of her honesty. She found a wallet on the ground that did not have a visible ID in it. However, a large amount of cash was visible and oh, so tempting to most students. However, Camille picked up the wallet from the picnic table and brought it directly to her counselor. After some looking at the debit card in the wallet, the counselor was able to return it to the rightful owner without any missing money. We want to celebrate Camille and her dedication to doing the right thing. Character is built on what we do when no one is looking. Way to go, Camille. So each one of our Student of the Months this month, we want to congratulate them and we want to celebrate them. And in celebrating them, they will receive a plaque as well as the Student of the Month sign in their yards. So again, when you see these students, or just congratulate them on their accomplishments. Next slide, please. Now we would like to recognize our Employee of the Month. This Employee of the Month was selected by our committee that I shared earlier, which is Ms. Chantrice Clark, an 8th grade science teacher at Welding Middle School. She fit all of the criteria of the nominating criteria of this demonstrating behavior that assists students or other staff. She demonstrates a positive and welcoming attitude that fosters a positive learning environment. She displays outstanding performance pertaining to their job-related responsibilities. She works as a team player in fulfilling their responsibilities. She contributes to the school district above and beyond expectations of her job, enthusiastically supports the mission of Welding City Schools. Ms. Clark is a first-year teacher who joined Welding Middle School in the spring as a substitute teacher. She immediately formed lasting relationships with students and staff by showing an enthusiasm for her craft and a love for her students. We began the year with Ms. Clark being a sole member of the 8th grade team while we awaited permanent staffing for the grade level. In spite of a huge personal loss, she never missed a beat with her students and continued the mission and vision of Welding STEM Middle School. She is a true scientist and an amazing educator who was born to do this incredibly challenging but rewarding work. She has the full respect and love of the staff and students of Welding STEM Middle School, and she is a valuable part of our team and family. And Welding Middle School is blessed to have her on their team. So again, Ms. Chantrice Clark is our Employee of the Month. Thank you so much for allowing me to share the highlights from the federal programs, as well as our community and Student and Employee of the Month.
All right, thank you, thank you. All right, any questions or comments? All right, thank you all so much. Moving on to school health.
Board Chair, Dr. Merritt, board members, I would like us to.
We skipped over the academic calendar revision.
Don't ask if we can back up.
Yeah.
Did I miss something?
Yes, under the instructional report is the academic calendar revision.
Oh, yeah, okay. My apologies. Who is coming to present that?
Ms. Deborah.
Oh, okay, we're ready. The academic calendar?
Yes, sir.
All right.
While Mr. Redmond is pulling up the document so that you all can, so those who are online can see it. The purpose of the committee, we had a calendar committee meeting. The purpose of the committee was to add remote learning days to the 21-22 school calendar because the nature of the instruction that's going on in our schools. It was expressed that the teachers will probably need some additional time to do the things required to deliver quality instruction. The rationale was the dates that are recommended to the board to be added to our school calendar as remote learning days to offer instructional staff the opportunity to participate in instructional activities without the students being present at school. The method of instruction during these days will be the student self-paced virtual learning at home, and the staff will attend work on site in their buildings for 4 days and work off site for 1 day. The committee decided that these were some of the tentative work plan activities that our staff would participate in. However, all activities would be approved by our principals as well as monitored on that day. The recommended dates are as follows: November 12th, remote learning on-site; January 18th, remote learning off-site could be available; February 28th, remote learning on-site; March 18th, on-site remote learning; and May 6th, remote learning on-site. And these are the 5 days that the committee is submitted to the board for approval to add to our academic calendar for the 21-22 school year. Are there any questions?
All right, board members have any questions? All right, I guess a motion is in order to approve those particular days that have been mentioned.
I'll make a motion that we approve the recommended days to be added to the calendar.
Motion has been moved and properly seconded by Mrs. Harrison and Mrs. Jenkins respectfully to approve the addition of those days to our 2021-22 school calendar. You heard that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, would you let it be known by your voice vote? Mrs. Jenkins? Mrs. Harrison?
Yes.
Ms. Robinson? Ms. K. Robinson?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Mrs. Bird Robinson?
Aye.
And O.D. Sykes, aye. Record reflect unanimous approval. 6 board members present.
Thank you so much.
All right, we're ready.
Good afternoon, one more time.
All right.
I come before you with our school health update for our October board meeting. And I have 2 individuals with me today that I would like to present. To the board because they are new employees to our department of 1. So I would like to introduce to you all Nurse Sharika Gray, who is currently serving all 4 of our schools as school nurse and doing an excellent job. And I would also like to invite Mr. Isaac Miller forward so that I can introduce you to him.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Miller is serving as our COVID-19 testing facilitator for all 4 schools. And we have a dynamic team in the two of them because they are making their rounds to all the schools. They've already met with the principals and they are already planning for our children's growth and development in school health. So board, I would like to present to you Ms. Nurse Sharika Gray and Mr. Isaac Miller.
Welcome.
Thank you, glad to be here.
All right, so how are we doing? Our COVID dashboard is posted on the website and it will be updated regularly. We've been blessed in that this month we have not had any positive cases identified in our students and our staff, which is a great thing for Welding City Schools. Our COVID testing program, the enrollment window closed. However, I do want to make it publicly known that we can still, individual staff and students can still enroll. It's an ongoing enrollment process. The COVID testing program staff and supplies are up to date and they are arriving in the schools. Our first screening date will be next Thursday, October the 28th, beginning at RVET at 7:45 a.m. for staff and also students. And the Mako vending testing team will visit each school on that day to do our screening. We should get our screening results from everyone who was screened on that Friday, if not before. We also have registration with our initial burst window so far, and I would like to encourage you all to promote the testing program if you so choose. So far at the high school, we have 19 staff and students enrolled in the program, middle school 17, elementary school 37, and RVET we have 11. The central office staff is included in the high school numbers, but I would like to make special recognition to our RVAC staff where they have 100% of their staff have enrolled in the program. And I think that is very commendable.
Yes. Absolutely.
Mr. Miller, he's hit the ground running. He has since Monday encouraged others to join and he has enrolled additional people since Monday. He and I, we talk every day as we're planning for our COVID testing program. We are still reinforcing our safety protocols, the 3 W's, wear your mask, wait 6 feet, wash your hands and sanitize regularly. We are still promoting our Let's Talk About It campaign. This was our face coverings month. A video was submitted by Kayla Frazier to be aired across the district, encouraging young people to please, ma'am, please, sir, please be safe and wear your coverings. Also, the FAQs about COVID testing program have gone out. We are in talks with our Halifax Community College Nursing Department. Right now, we did receive the MOU and Attorney Malone did review it and we noticed that there were a couple of errors. So I've resubmitted it to them and I will bring the agreement back before the board at our next meeting. It's actually a good time simply because our nursing staff should be filled completely by next board meeting, as well as our testing program will be up and running with fidelity by that time. The partnership includes having individuals who are in the nursing program participate in clinicals here in the district. But the thing is, we want to have adequate supervision of the young people as they work in our district. Where do we go from here? We are going to continue to promote the preventing the spread activities in our schools. And I do want to shout out our principals because they are taking it very seriously. It's been nothing that I have called to tell them that I've seen that was not quite right, that they did not address and get it right. So I thank them for being so conscientious. And our goal is to implement our testing program with fidelity. Our goal is to get as many people, staff and students as possible, involved in our weekly screening so that we can catch those ones who may be positive and not know it, so that will help prevent the spread. So I present the MOU will be coming back next month. So are there any questions that you all have regarding our school health plan or program?
don't have a question, but I have a comment. I just wanted you to know, and let parents know who need to get tested, that we have a North Carolina COVID testing site here in Halifax County that's free of charge. And it's on 1385 Medical Center Drive, adjacent to the Biden Family Health Office. And you just, it's a drive-through, you don't have to get out the car or anything. And it is sponsored by the state, and they don't ask you for your insurance card or anything. Get it back next day.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Ms. Devereaux,
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. You said that Mako will be on site when?
On Thursday, the 28th.
Okay. And you said there that Mr. Miller received training. Was him and is Mr. Miller and Nurse Gray receiving the same types of training?
Yes,
Since they're
ma'am.
supporting each other? Okay.
Yeah. Anyone who works in the nursing department, in our school health department, in that capacity has to be trained. I've also opened it up to the principals if they would like, just so that they'll know what's going on. But they are our primary facilitators.
Thank you.
Okay, face cover. Face covers.
Any other questions? All right. Moving right along.
Our next area, as Thomas pulls up the slide, is where, thank you. As in accordance with SB 654, all public school units shall adopt a policy regarding the use of face coverings by employees and students. The governing body of Senate Bill 654 Session Law 2021-130, page 9. The public school unit shall vote at least once a month on whether the face covering policy should be modified. Our currently approved policy states all students, staff, and visitors are required to wear face coverings, which are face shields or masks, at all indoor settings, including the central office, unless a documented exception exists. Students will receive mask-free breaks during the instructional day and in open air spaces with proper physical distancing between students. Individuals visiting the school building or attending school events indoors, including athletics, are required to wear a face covering. All unvaccinated student athletes and coaches are required to wear face coverings at all times, and vaccinated student athletes and coaches have the option to wear a face covering. The face coverings for spectators outdoors is optional. So board chair and board members, I present to you our currently approved policy, and I am asking for your approval for the continuation of this policy.
Fellow board members, as we have to talk about this every month, and that's what it is. I guess we'll probably be doing this the rest of the school year. I'm gonna call our attention to a statement, and I've said it before, and I will stress it again. We're getting ready to end football season, and there is no way that I can see, especially with the temperature of our gym, there's no way that I can see our student athletes or coaches being involved and running up and down the court. It doesn't matter whether they had a vaccination or not. There's no way in the world that we can expect students to run up and down that court exerting themselves during basketball season. I hope that this board will take a strong look at that. I'm talking about our athletes now, our student athletes. I just can't. I would not want to be a parent with a child having asthma or breathing problems and exerting themselves up and down that court, or a coach. It doesn't matter whether they have a shot or not. I just don't see how we could expect our students to do that inside that hot gym. And every one of the board members knows that that gym is extremely hot. I mean, there's very little that we can do at this point in that gym to keep that temperature at a minimum. That's just me. And we're not going to stay there all night long. So if you all don't agree with it, we'll go ahead on and move on quickly.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
Okay, unless I missed something, the next to the last sentence says your vaccinated student athletes and coaches had an option to wear a face mask. So if they've been vaccinated, they will not have to wear it. That's just their choice, correct? So with basketball, if those players are vaccinated, then they don't have to wear the mask. Am I reading that correct?
That's what it says, but we can't impose anything as a board to make anybody show anything. That's somebody's personal business. We don't have the authority unless I'm wrong, and I'm not above accepting correction. But we cannot mandate it. We can't put anything in place. That's somebody's personal record of whether somebody has it or not. That's just me.
If they want to use the vaccination exception, they would have to show proof of vaccination. Or if they don't want to disclose their vaccination status, then they would wear a mask. I mean, so yeah, they don't have to show that they're vaccinated, but if they don't want to wear a mask, they would have to show that they're vaccinated.
Okay, with that, Mr. Chair, I make a motion that our current policy remains in place.
All right. Is there a second?
What did you say, Mr. Williams?
I made a motion that our current policy that we have remain in place.
Second.
All right, the motion has been moved and properly seconded by Mr. Williams and Mrs. Jenkins respectfully, that the current policy for this month until we vote again next month will remain as is. You heard that motion. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, would you let it be known now by your voice vote? Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Bird Robinson?
Aye.
O.D. Sykes, nay. Mrs. Jenkins?
Aye.
Mrs. Harrison?
Yes.
And Ms. K. Robinson?
Aye.
Let the record reflect 5 in favor, 1 opposed, motion passes. Thank you so much. All right. Moving on to our field trip. That's Roman number 3 under 6F. Field trips for our October and November. Will you call those field trips off, Dr. Myrick? I think you had some tangible copies for board members that are there.
Yes, the first one is the Cack Road College Fair field trip. for the students at the high school to attend the college fair at the community college on October the 29th. The second one is the FBLA regionals for middle and high school students to attend the competitive events in December, but their dues are due on November the 1st. Well, by November the 1st, the U.S. Military Expo for middle and high school students. This is being sponsored by the community college, and it's taking place on November the 9th. And then the final one that was added tonight is the spring break trip for our students going to Florida, for our high school seniors going to Florida in the spring.
That's the one that we added tonight with RVEC in the high school, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Any questions on the field trips? And let me just share this, board members. I spoke with Dr. Myrick prior to our meeting tonight, and I asked us to add that because the senior trip for RVEC and our high school, that paperwork was actually submitted in the proper time frame. And what happened is with this particular trip and some things associated with it, our seniors, they pay for this trip in installments, and the particular agency that is being used, they did move it back a month, which is this month, so the students can start paying in November. And I just don't think they will move it back an additional month. It was left out, but the paperwork was submitted in the time frame in which we have asked that they be submitted to be included in our packet, but it was left off. So I just wanted to advocate for that because it was not any discrepancy on the principal's part. So we've heard those field trips. Are there any questions on them? All right, if not, then motion would be in order to approve the said field trips as they have been presented to us tonight.
I move that we approve the field trips presented to us for Capro, College Fair, FBLA Regional Conference, U.S. Military Expo, and the senior trip involving RVEC and Welding STEM High School Career Academy.
Second.
Motion has been moved and properly second that we approve all the aforementioned field trips as they have been shared with us tonight. That was motion by Ms. Kim Robinson and seconded by Mrs. Donna Harrison. You've heard that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of that motion, would you let it be known by your voice vote? Ms. Bird Robinson?
Aye.
Ms. K. Robinson?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Mrs. Harrison?
Yes.
O.D. Sykes, aye. Mrs. Jenkins?
Aye.
All right. Let the record reflect unanimous approval of the 6 board members present tonight. Thank you so much. All right, next is our 6F, Roman numeral 4, is facility use.
Yes, Mr. Chair, last month we talked about the facility, whether or not we would allow individuals to rent our facilities. And we were asked to bring back some costs in reference to the increase for the additional costs that it would take to clean our buildings under the COVID safety protocols. And this evening, there are 3 price increase options ranging from option 1, $150, option 2, $125, and option 3, $100.
All right. Any questions or anyone in favor of a particular option or ready to make a motion on a particular option, unless we have discussion?
I have a question.
Yes.
Is that for all schools, all around?
Yes, anyone who rents any of our indoor facilities.
Does anyone
Any of the stuff is because if it's outside, then they have restrooms attached. If they're using restrooms, then they will qualify. So,
does someone have their cell phone by their microphone? It's getting a lot of feedback.
what about now? Mine was sitting by my.
It sounds good now.
Must have been that one thing.
It's picking it up. I don't know what it is, but it sounds like something is frying. Thank you.
Reverend Sykes.
Yes, sir.
Considering that if they using a certain portion of the building for space, we're gonna also have to go to both restrooms, the men and the women, to clean them, sanitize them, and looking at the cost of that, I would go with option 2. So I'll make a motion that we use option 2 as a fee increase for rental.
All right.
Second.
Motion has been made by Mr. Williams and seconded by Mrs. Harrison that we approve option 2 as far as an additional increase for facilities use. You heard that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of that motion, would you let it be known by your voice vote? O.D. Sykes, aye. Ms. Bird Robinson?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Yes, sir.
Mrs. Jenkins?
Aye.
Mrs. Harrison?
Yes.
Mrs. K. Robinson?
Aye.
Let the record reflect unanimous approval of the increase in facilities use by $125. Thank you so much. Moving on to letter G, athletics.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I would like to start off by saying congratulations to our volleyball team. They made the playoff.
All right.
Yes. They'll be playing at Inno Academy in Hillsborough, North Carolina on Saturday afternoon.
Okay.
So go ladies, good job. All right.
All right.
So first thing I would like to talk about would be the athletic salary proposal. Okay, I am proposing a $400 increase for all the coaches. Reason number one is they truly deserve it. Reason number two is because the average coach in this area is making more than 74% more than the average coach here at Welding. So with that, yes, go ahead.
Excuse me, Coach Lynch. I said Mr. Williams. I was looking down at the screen. Coach Lynch, I know you're doing your presentation. You said 74% more, but can you equate that to dollars?
Yes.
An approximate?
It would be $1,580 more than the average coach is making here at Welding City Schools.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. You're welcome.
Lynch,
Yes.
and you said your comparison is to schools of our size or similar or just in the area?
3 of them are our size and 1 of them is a lot larger than we are.
Okay.
I apologize, Coach Lynch, but I didn't want that to get past me.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Continue, please.
Okay. With that said, I would like for the total salary for the high school to be increased to $49,700 instead of $38,400.
Okay.
I would also like to recommend that the total salary for the middle school be increased to $21,400 instead of $14,200. And that would be a total of $71,100 instead of $52,600. Okay, now I'd like to go on to the next slide. Now, this next slide, we'll be talking about the Welding City Schools athletic budget proposal. I am proposing that there would be $71,100 for the coach's supplement instead of a $59,375. I'm also proposing for Social Security costs, $6,000 instead of $4,542.16. And as far as the retirement cost, I'm asking for $16,000 instead of the $14,669.68. And as far as the workshop expense, I'm asking for $7,000 instead of $5,000. Catastrophic insurance will remain the same, $2,000. And as far as for athletic supplies, I'll be asking for $35,000 instead of the $23,000 that we currently have. Okay.
Right.
Coach
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes, ma'am.
have a question before you move on. So looking at what our actual budget is and the proposed budget, that is based on just the $400 per person that you're looking for an increase in, correct?
Yes, and an additional $12,000 for coaches, for athletic supplies.
But that's not included in the 71. The 71.1 that you're proposing is just for the $400 increase per coach.
Yes, yes.
Okay, the
400.
supplies is a different amount. Okay.
That's right.
But what you're saying to me, the $400, even if you were given the $400 per coach, our coaches still would be significantly behind compared to our districts around us? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, about $1,100 less,
Okay.
even with the $400.
So do you have something that you can share with us, kind of like where we are and then where other schools are in our area?
Took it from the current coaches scale from the other schools. And I
I'm saying,
believe that they
do you
said
have
that.
that information that we can look at?
No, I do not have it with me now.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Is that something that we can get?
Yes. I was told that it was already sent to Welding City Schools. But I do not know who have it now, but I know I asked for it, for myself.
Okay.
But I have the documents and I can send you guys an email tonight if you like.
And I also shared the document with all of the local coaches supplements. I have it here.
And it's broken down per district. It's not just all, because I know at one point we got it and it was just on different sheets. But do you have it on one document that we can look at it?
I can get it typed up and sent to you tonight. I have it handwritten, but I would like to type it up and send it to you.
I'm asking Dr. Meyer because he said that he was talking about something that had been sent to us. What I'm asking is, do you have all of that broken down, Dr. Meyer, like that?
No, it's not all on one sheet. There are individual sheets based on the district where we got the information from. And it also included our coaches supplement, the current one.
Okay, because what I had asked for was like a comparison, so we still don't have that. But if we can just, I guess we can just look at it and go from there. Okay, thank you, Coach Lynch.
You're welcome.
Mr. Sykes.
Yes, sir. Go ahead,
I have-
Mr. Williams.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Coach Lynch, how you doing?
I'm just fine, Coach.
All right. This is per, let's say $400 or $200 increase per coach. what scale are you using for subsequent years, or 1, 2, 3, or whatever?
I'm using the one that, I'm sorry, Coach, go say that again.
I was just saying, what scale are you using?
I'm using the one that was approved by the board in December of 2017, it was. Yes, in 3-year increments, and that's 2016, I'm sorry, December 2016.
Okay, thank you.
Now, Coach Lynch, two things. What you are referring to now is you saying, is this the starting, or is this how many years is this? Are you saying that the coaches around us are making an average of $1,580 more? Is that starting out, or is that experience? I mean, how is that? How did you come up with that number?
That is the initial start for the surrounding schools. That's the first, if you come here with no experience, that is the average that the surrounding coaches are making more than we are for the first year coach.
So then that isn't even a fair assessment if you have coaches that's been there 10 years, 15 years.
No, sir, it's not.
Okay. And my second question is, when we did our budget, because the amounts, we were looking at the years of experience of coaches, many of them, it was not, the 25, 30 years like some of the, coaches that had been there for a long period of time. And of course, the budget was reduced as far as the coaching supplements were concerned. So I asked that the amounts remain the same, just in case, because we didn't know all of the coaches that we would get. So some of this money I'm thinking that you are making reference of is already in what we approved at $45,000. Did you look at that to see if there was already some money in there? Because if my memory served me correctly, it was lowered about $11,000 or $12,000, but we added that money back. Does anybody remember that besides me?
I do, Reverend Sykes. I remember you said to go with the higher budget there, because we said at the time that a lot of coaches, when they come in, they wouldn't be, let's say, where Coach Grady was or Coach Hanson was, and their salary would be less. But you still said, let's go with the higher salary that was in the budget, and that's what we went with.
Okay, so in comparison, and I think our coaches, need to get more. I think we need to be competitive, because contrary to the opinion of some, our coaches do more than just stand on the sideline and observe and just look. Our coaches are counselors. Our coaches are role models. Our coaches give encouragement. Our coaches spend money on the children out of their pocket, our student athletes. And I'm all in favor. If we can do more than 400, I'd like to see us do that. But I do want to see us, I do want to know where we are as far as the number is concerned. Do we actually need that amount to do the $400 more per coach? And this is per season, right?
Yes.
I just want to make sure that I think some of the money is already within the 45,000, but I'm not sure. I know we would need to add some to it, but I don't know if we need to go. I'm just not sure. What you were looking at, the 59. I know we would have to add some to it to bring it up to par if we went with the 400. I'm just not sure how much, and I would like to know that as well.
Okay, it's going to take a minimum of $28,800. The money that you said that was put back in there, yes, it was in there. I think I found about $17,000 that was left in there. I think you said 11, but it's about 17,000. But with that $17,000, that's going to be the difference for the payment for multi-seasonal coaches, because I will be requesting that coaches get paid for every season that they work. And there's about another $1,500 for differences in Social Security costs, and about another $2,000 in difference of retirement costs, which is a total of about $19,000. So we even went over that $11,000 that you said that was in there. So you have about $8,000 of that money that has been used for the money that I am proposing.
Okay. All right.
Well, Brother Sykes.
Yes, sir.
I think that we probably should table until Coach Lynch can give us the figures and the surrounding schools, but more or less the figures where we can get it in black and white, and we can just see exactly what the difference is.
Okay.
I totally agree, so that we can make sure that our supplements, our stipends for our coaches is definitely competitive.
All right. And Coach Lynch, if we table this, can you, well, I know you can, I'm asking you, would you have this to us by our next meeting? Because I totally agree. I think we need to be fair, but also we need to have solid numbers in black and white. And I would even, just like we have the options that were presented, like the building, increase, you've given us one option of $200 extra. You've given us a second option of $400 extra. I would even ask that you go back and put a third option and raise it some more, just so we can see, we can have a choice, 200, 400, and I'm going to say, maybe 700, or 800. I don't know what it would equate to, but I think it would be good if you would, put another option in there so we can see it all in black and white. And then I think we will be more than ready to make a decision next month. But if you could get those three options to us in black and white.
Okay, that's fine.
And Reverend Sykes.
Yes.
And also, as I, was just talking about a few minutes ago, in addition to that, the 200, 400 and 700, also what our neighboring districts are doing, their coaching supplements are.
In addition to that, just for comparison's sake.
Mm-hmm.
And okay. I have all the information with me tonight, but it's handwritten, and I do not want to present it in hand, right? So I would get it to you. I would get all of you. I would get you all the information tonight to all of the board members tonight, and I'll be so you can have it, and I would be ready to present it during the next meeting.
Thank you.
All right. Now there's still one more slide I would like to go through. It's not a slide, but a couple of more recommendations if you guys have about a minute.
Oh yeah, but before you do that, Coach Lynch, is everybody fine with tabling that until next month? Attorney Malone, do we need a motion to table that, or we can just have a consensus to table it?
Well, I think you can have a consensus, and because I'm trying to find exactly how it was presented. But yeah, I think you can certainly have a consensus to table it until next month. That'll be fine. Okay.
Board members, do you all consent to that we would just table this item and take action on it next month with three options? He's presented two options, a $200, a $400, and give him an opportunity to get a third option. And I'm not trying to tell you what that third option needs to be, Coach Lynch, and you may need to modify one of the other options, to kind of, make them coincide, or, a different step scale. I don't know. But if you could do that along with what Mr. Williams said, so we can have it in black and white, but just give us those other options. I think we'd be ready to go from there. Those in the boardroom, do you all agree to that consent?
Yes.
Reverend Sykes,
Yes, go ahead, Ms. Jenkins.
I think, we need to table this, and then, like you said, if you, like Mr. Williams said, bring it back, and then we look at it next month.
All right. Thank you, thank you. All right, well, Coach Lynch, if you would do that for us and work on those, and like I said, if you need to modify, I'll say the 400 one, so you can work out that third option, please do that and have those numbers in black and white for us next month.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay.
Yes,
All
sir.
right,
We ready to go with your other.
Okay. Now I'd like to move on to the contracts and pay scale proposal. The first proposal is the removal of the clause from all of the contracts, all the athletic contracts. And that clause is, this individual must also maintain a valid CDL-P driver's license or pay the rate of a bus driver. The amount will be deducted from your coaching supplement. I would like to have that removed from our contracts.
Is that on the screen, or you just giving us that?
I'm just reading it off the paper, but I have it here. I have a
okay.
Contract.
All right. That can be, Dr. Myrick, can you email that to us as well? That particular verbiage?
Can I just propose that maybe that, I would work on this with Andy and Dr. Myrick, and we'll send you a specific proposal on that to consider. Is that okay?
Yeah. Yes. So you're asking if we can just take a consent to table that until next month as well?
Yeah, table that until next month, and then I didn't know that was being proposed, I'm sorry, and we'll work on it and try to get something that we can recommend.
All right, that sounds good. Board members, do you all agree to that?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Well,
I have a question though, Mr. Sykes. Will you all be paid prior to next month's meeting? Is football season gonna be over?
Football season will be over, but I would explain to the coaches again, I have the contract, some of them I'm giving them back. It will be up to them to sign what they have, but I told them whatever they sign, they will need to adhere and abide by whatever's in the contract. They can't just sign this contract and come to me and say, well, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. So I need them to understand whatever they sign, they have to adhere to it. But if they need to be paid, then that's fine. Some of them may be willing to wait till next month. I definitely can ask them.
Well, Coach Lynch, if you would, until we can work this out, please let the coaches know that this is coming up next month. We will approve it next month. And our district is going to make sure that everybody is compensated for the work that they did. But I think it's fair to us, it's fair to them, and it's fair to you as the athletic director that we can get the verbiage like it needs to be, and also vote on something as far as our coaching stipends that everybody can live with. Because, look, our coaches, and I know this, and you all know this, our coaches sometimes can do more with our students because that is extracurricular activities than some other adults, because the coaches have that rapport. And I'm not discounting any other staff because it takes a village, or it should be a village, to raise a child. But I also know when we're dealing with extracurricular activities, those coaches play a major influence in our student athletes' lives, and we just want to be fair.
I agree.
So we can bring both of them back next month. The consent is that we will table that, and we'll look forward to having that in black and white next month.
Okay.
And if I'm following you, if an employee has signed an agreement and the board makes changes either to the compensation or to the terms of the agreement, we can have them sign an amendment
Yes.
to clarify that.
Yes.
So they should not sign and not get paid over this. They should get paid whatever they are due now, then if the board makes a change, it can be rectified.
Okay, I agree with that.
Right. We'll work all of that out. All right, that sounds good. Thank you so much. Coach Lynch, is it anything else that you need to share with us?
Yes, it is. A few more things. And I know this may wait till next month also, but I would like to go through it.
Yes,
The next one is I would like to remind you to please add James William Jr. and James Lynch to be compensated for football. They both was there since the first day and haven't missed a day.
All right.
Somehow, you know, they kind of got a little, I guess it was misplaced through the process.
We'll take care of it, Coach Lynch.
Right.
That's on the radar with the board. We're looking into that.
Okay, the next thing I would like to add to the scale is the position for an equipment specialist. He's a young man that's been working here probably more than 30 years. But his position is not on the pay scale. So I want to add that equipment specialist to the pay scale, that position. Next, I would like to add to the scale the position of a game day coordinator. All right. And I would also like to make the request that all multi-seasonal coaches be paid for every season coach.
All right.
And the last thing is to make this proposal effective this school year, if possible.
Yes, sir.
That is it.
All right. Now, Coach Lynch, we gonna take all of that, and of course we can make it effective. This board can do that. Everything that you have proposed tonight, I think board members, it would probably be a fair analysis for us to say that we will we can vote on all of that into one. But now the game day administrator, we approved that back in August when you recommended that to us. We approved that back in August. So, you know, that I don't think that's any further discussion that's needed on that. Does this board remember that we approved that in August when he presented that to us in August?
I remember him sent a game day administrator. Just at the time, I don't think he presented a name, and that is Miss Empress Facing. So, from my recollection, we had approved the position, but we just didn't have a person.
That's correct. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't the only one that, you know, remember that. I appreciate that, Mr. Williams, and I hope the rest of the board remembers that as well. So, you know, we're not going to just throw that off because we've already consented to that. As you said, Mr. Williams, we just didn't have a name at the time.
Yes.
So we can take all of that up, Coach Lynch, next month, and, you know, get the verbiage in the contracts and make everything retroactive. But please let the coaches know that this board is working. We just need those tangible numbers next month. And once it's presented, the board can make the decision. We can take it from there, and everything will be lockstep. And Attorney Malone said that he will work with you and Dr. Myrick as far as the verbiage of the contracts is concerned, and we can have all of that in lockstep next board meeting. Just tell the coaches, be patient with us. We haven't forgotten about them, and we're gonna do right by them.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Anybody else having a comment, anything they want to add?
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Coach Lynch.
Thank you also.
Yes, sir. All right, moving on to presentations.
Ms. Deborah.
I was wondering because it has certificate of excellence on the presentation. Okay. All right. Good evening, you all, one more time. And I think this might be my last time, I don't know. But I stand before you all with Mr. Tillery. We're standing together as the transportation department to present for your viewing and for your consideration the Synovia solution. And Synovia, and in your documents, I presented you all the specifics that we received from Synovia as they are trying to provide us with a safe and effective way in which to make sure that our transportation department is operating more effectively and efficiently for the safety of our children. Synovia, and I know many of you may have already heard of it because it's offered in many of our surrounding districts. It offers a real-time tracking of our district vehicles. But primarily, we're looking at our school buses. And in addition to that, we're also looking at our maintenance vehicles, our district cars. We can have Synovia solutions installed on all of those to help us with mapping, reporting, alerting, as well as it integrates with our TIMS routing system. In addition, the Synovia solution provides the parents with an app to track the bus, to see how far their bus is away from the child's drop off, and it also offers turn-by-turn navigation for drivers with the mobile terminal that's mounted on the bus. This is beneficial when we have substitute drivers or when we have unexpected events and we have to switch drivers. So the Synovia system automatically connects to our TIMS routing system, and so our routes are identified for whomever is driving the bus. It also has a feature in which it monitors time and attendance to help us to identify and solidify actual driver time. This will help us to alleviate some of the issues that we're having with the written paper timesheets that we get each month. And Mr. Tiller and myself, as well as Ms. Boyd and Matilda, we work through those timesheets to ensure that our drivers are paid accurately. It will improve the monitoring of cost of fuel and as well as for transportation and travels. One of the things that I've noticed since I've been in this position is that we really don't have a system that will help me identify how much we're really paying Halifax County for our gas, our fuel, and all of that. We are still dependent upon the system of writing down, if you remember correctly, and all of this. So Synovia will help us to escape that problem as well. The next slide speaks about the mobile data terminal, and it has, and I like this feature because it has the ability to do student ridership verification. In a society such as we have now, many times our children may inadvertently get off at the wrong stop, or they may be put off at the wrong location because mom didn't call in time and this, that, and another. But the data terminal will notify the driver that this is not a stop in which the child should be getting off. It has a video camera display on the device, as well as the navigation software is safe and efficient. One of the beauties of this program is it has the insurance benefit subjects. There is no upfront cost. All the equipment is included in the pricing, and all the equipment is installed by Synovia Solution. The thing about this is there's a fixed price for 5 years, term of our agreement, and also there's an ongoing warranty for hardware replacement, and also we get spare hardware as needed. The data plan is through Verizon. The next slide talks about, it's a summary. I asked them to base on 15 buses because that's what we have in our fleet. However, we are currently running 13 buses. We have 3 activity buses in our fleet, but actually we're running 2 are actually working. And then we have 6 light duty vehicles, which is our cars, et cetera. And I think we probably have 2 or 3 of them working as well. So that summary was the whole fleet if everything was working as it should be. So the proposed pricing is indicated. The total month investment will be $831. However, we would modify the vehicles covered to only include those vehicles that are working vehicles, with the potential to add to as the need arises. Because with this being a 5-year investment, it may change from year to year, and we do have the option. So the total annual cost for our program and our buses would be $9,000 per year for this system. So I'm just presenting this to our board today for your consideration. And all I'm asking is that you give us permission to pursue with Synovia to get an agreement in which we can have Attorney Malone to review, as well as to bring back to you all for consideration. Any questions?
I can just tell you that we negotiated contracts with Synovia and can forward you some proposed changes, so it should not theoretically be that time consuming. Theoretically.
Mr. Chairman, I also like to request when they bring back other information that they get recommendations from other school systems in our right size on feedback from them or letters of support, so we can see how they rate the level of satisfaction that they have.
Okay.
They're using the program.
And also, when are we looking to start using this program if it's something that's approved? Will this be next school year? Since we've already started this school year and we're kind of almost halfway through?
Right, one of the things that we want to do is that's truly dependent upon what our board does. If they approve us to go ahead and we get the agreement and we bring it back, and then we'll discuss whether we implement this year or next year. Mr. Tiller and I are both in agreement that we can start it this year or next year. Probably be easier and better to start it next year. Because we do have our procedures moving along and trying to get them in place now. So that is not outside of the realm of possibility to start it next year. And I'm gonna take just a second to allow Mr. Tiller to speak if he would like to share.
Yeah, it probably would be a good idea for us to go to this system. But like you said, I'm leaning more toward next year, probably. Because it probably, I know our pre-K and kindergarten will have a fit adjustment. Dr. Mary probably getting 100 phone calls, I get 200. But I talked with the person in Martin County and Halifax County. They really love the program.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Tiller. And I too used it in my formal position. So it was, but I can get those letters of support from you all.
Any other question?
Yes, if we can get the pros and cons. I think that's what Ms. Robinson said, but I'm having some, the program is moving kind of slowly here. So if we can get that in addition to what Ms. Robinson has, that would be great.
Okay. Thank you all so much.
Thank you all.
All right. Next is our supplemental pay.
Ms. Alston.
Yes, sir.
All right, help me out with this. I'll start out. We had talked about earlier this semester looking at a way to supplement our teachers and our staff this year. And so I've asked Ms. Alston to look at our ESSER funds and to see if it will be an allowable expense out of our ESSER funds to do this for us this year. And so she has had to go into the grant that was submitted and make some adjustments in order to make it happen, what she's going to present tonight. And she will talk about that a little bit in the presentation for the supplemental pay.
Okay. Of course, when we talk about the supplemental pay, we have to have criteria with ESSA funds in order to provide the monies. We can't just say that we're going to give each employee. So basically, I went into
Mrs. Alston,
Understand her.
excuse me, you're real muffled. I don't know if there's something wrong with your volume.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, hear you loud and clear.
Okay, I apologize. So with the ESSA funds, we do have to have a criteria when we're utilizing it, just as we did last year, as we're utilizing the funds to provide supplemental pay. And especially with following the mission and the goals of our board and making sure that everyone receives the same amount. Basically what I've titled on the front page, if you'll go back to the front, please, Mr. Redmond. I'm titling it supplemental pay and using it as employee retention. And I'm focusing on, of course, everything with the ESSA funds has to say how we're impacted by the current pandemic or either future pandemics. Mr. Redmond, if you'll go to the next page, please. So the purpose is Welding City Schools, as well as the districts across the state, we're all reporting challenges in hiring staff members, including bus drivers, substitutes, specialty teachers, and others. So I made sure everybody was included, that the current employees often fill the gaps to ensure that the environment is safe and conducive to delivering and receiving quality education. So this will be a retention bonus as an incentive to retain our current employees that are on the job during the pandemic, as well as bonus pay that will aid in the recruiting of employees for current hard to fill positions. As we talked about, we do still have positions that are available for individuals to be hired. So the next slide kind of show the funding source. Of course, it would be ESSA 3. And so the total estimated cost, and I believe this, and I know this is for just 1 year, is $446,864.81. That would be matching the same total that we received last year, including the benefits, meaning we have to pay retirement and we have to pay Social Security. Next slide, please. So we had 3 options as to how for current employees that these funds, if approved by the board, would be delivered. Option 1 would be employees employed in the district from July 1st to October 21st, that's this year, meaning as of today when the board meets, those individuals will receive on December 15th, $1,250, and then on May 25th of 2022, they would receive the second half. Option 2 would be all employees employed in the district, again, from July 1 until today, if the board approves it, will receive $2,500, meaning the total at the end of the year. And option 3 would be employees employed with the district between July 1st and October will receive $500 in December and $2,200 May 25th. That is for the current employees. Also, the criteria on the next slide would be for new employees. If we have 2 options, if a new employee is hired tonight, they will receive $2,500 sign-on supplemental retention pay on May 25th. Or option 2, new employees hired after tonight will receive a $1,250 sign-on supplemental retention pay on May 25th, 2022. Next slide. So and again, this is the plan that has been developed upon board approval to submit to the Board of Education. We have went through the budget, just as I shared earlier, and did a proposed amendment. I have shared that with Dr. Myrick, would entail in adjusting the ESSA budget to move some fundings around and possibly we looked at areas where we could move the monies in order to provide this amount in order to retain our employees and compensate our employees during the pandemic.
Question, Ms. Alston.
Yes.
Can we go back to, it was 2 slides before, let me see. So option 3, July 1 through October 21st will receive, okay, so that's 2021. Okay. Should be 21, December 15, 2021. The date was messing me up. The year was messing me up there. You follow me?
No, I'm trying to see.
It says December 2022 instead of 21, but that's the part that's confusing me. Okay, I got it. I got it. Okay.
I do apologize.
No, that's
And
fine. I just want to make sure.
Are you done, Ms. Burt Robbins?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
And also, Ms. Alston, I'm a little confused because what we did last school year, last December, employees had to be employed with the district at a certain date as you have it listed. But when we gave the $2,500 at the end of the school year, those employees had to be employed at a certain time as well, because we had some people that left and things of that nature. They didn't get it because they weren't employed at the time, that we approved it. So I like option 3, but I think we need to put a date in the end of the year, $2,200, because that's where our employees get the most money. $500 in December and then $2,200 in May. And, this opportunity to do what we need to do for our employees. And this is for part-time and full-time staff, correct?
Yes, sir. I did not do that, but yes, sir, I need to really do put that in black and white, the part-time and full-time. Yes, sir, that is correct. And the dates that we put, if they were employed from July 1, which is the beginning of the current school year.
Right.
Until today, that if the board approves this today, then they're eligible to receive that $500 on December 15th of 2021. Yes, sir. So the date has been specified. Anyone that's employed after today, that's how we have it, broken down, that then they would be entitled to a different amount. They won't receive that $500 because they weren't employed. So,
correct.
Mr. Chair.
Hold on one second. Mr. Williams is trying to answer a question. Go ahead, Mr. Williams.
On that option 3, it says $500 by December the 15th, and it should be 2021.
Yes.
And $2,000, $2,200. Should that be $2,000, or is $2,200 correct?
The $2,200 is correct.
So right now it would be they would get $2,700 for option 3.
Right.
No, that should be the $2,500.
Yeah.
Okay, so that should be 2,000.
Yes, that should be 2,000.
Okay, because I noticed the rest of them were 2,500.
Right.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And also, were you done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. River Sites, were you done?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't, and this is just me. I'm looking at 2,200. Now they got, and I told Dr. Myrick this as well, the 500 for Christmas in December. But if we could not do the $2,500 in May, that maybe we came down, $200 or $300. I'd much rather like to see the $2,200 for our employees in May rather than $2,000, because that is a decrease from 2,500 to 2,200. I'd much rather see the 2,200 there, and I know I feel strongly we ought to be able to work that.
Well, sir, what we did was the total amount overall is the $2,500, the same as what we did last year. So as you can see, the first one, we just divided it up and gave half at December 15th and the other half May 25th. So we gave half before Christmas and half at the end of the school year. So the second option, again, is not giving anything at Christmas and giving the whole portion at the end of the school year. And then option 3 was given 500 at Christmas, and then the remainder of the 2,500. So the total budget amount would be the same as what we did last year, was the 2,500 was what was being proposed. But if you would like to increase it to, and I apologize for the error, but then that would make it $2,700.
Okay, so now, when we say last year, I'm talking about last school year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what we're talking about.
Our employees got $3,000 last school year. Now, whether the 500 came from ESSA or it came from the funds that we had.
Okay.
Our employees still need to get the $500, but they also need to get that $2,500 from the ESSA funds. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so what you recommend? So I'm making sure I understand. So the ESSA continue to do the 2,500.
You muffled, Ms. Austin. I can't hear you.
So I'm making sure I'm hearing you correctly. So you're saying ESSA remain with the 2,500, and then wherever the 500 came from, that allotment of funds, you want to do 2 pots of monies, is what you're saying?
If that's what we did last year,
Yes,
which
sir.
I'm thinking that's what I'm hearing you say now, that we did $500 from our school district.
Yes, sir.
From the what was it, Fund 2 or Fund 8? That's probably.
And I'm not aware of which fund that was, but I can verify that ESSA funds only was 2,500 per employee.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Our employees need to get the 2,500 from the ESSA, but wherever we took that $500 from for December, we need to make sure that they get the 2,500 from ESSA and they get the $500, which will make that total to $3,000.
So would option 3 then, with you going with option 3, would that mean everyone would get $1,000 then on December 15th? And then the additional 2,000 in May? But I mean, that's what it sounds like you're saying, but with ESSA, are you suggesting that ESSA do the 500 in December and the 2,000 in May when you said option 3?
No, ma'am. We gave our employees $500 last December. And if it came from current expense, I'm thinking that's where it came from. We need to give our employees $500 from current expense in December of this year. And then we need to give our employees the $2,500 from ESSA May of next year, which will be the same total of 3,000. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
So you don't have the option that I'm talking about up here. I don't know how anybody else feels about that, but I mean, we have this opportunity with ESSA to do something for our employees. And if we took the 500 from current expense, we need to do that from current expense. And then I feel like we need to give our employees the $2,500 at the end of the year from ESSA, just like we did last school year.
And I will say, if we are using local funds, we will have to bring that budget back to the board for approval to move those monies for this purpose. And from my understanding, last year, $500 per employee did come from the local funds, and then the remaining $2,500 came from the ESSA funds. So it sounds like what I'm hearing you say is that you want us to bring the budget of what it would look like for $500 from local funds for our employees to receive in December.
Correct.
We still receive the $2,500 at the end of the school year.
Correct.
So do we need to table this for next month until we can get that back? And we need to know exactly where it's coming from, what line item and everything out of the local funds.
I would say, and we'd be ready to move next month. So when December comes, the employees can get their compensation for Christmas in their check. And then we'll be ready to do the same $2,500 with ESSA. That's what I support.
And also, if we can also look at that, we're talking about anyone who's employed by Welding City Schools, whether it's full-time, part-time, or whatever, as long as you are employed by Welding City Schools District, should receive it. That's my recommendation.
Now, I'm just asking for clarity, and Ms. Alston, help me with this. I don't think that included time that did not include substitutes, did it?
I don't believe so. No,
That
sir.
was just full-time and part-time.
Part-time. Mhm.
Well, I'm not talking about substitutes because they are, they're just kind of, they're not with us constantly, but that would cover our full-time, part-time, our crossing guards, our coaches, all of them are employed by Welding District. I know we did not do that last school year, but it's something that I'd like to explore for this school year. So anybody who have a contract with Welding City Schools or employed, I'd like for
You
us.
think all contracted employees?
Everybody who's employed by Welding City Schools, not substitutes, but anybody else that's employed by our district in any capacity. That's what I would like for us to, if we can explore that, to see how those numbers would look. Even if it was at a reduced rate.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Were you saying something, Ms. Jenkins?
I said no.
Oh, I thought that was Ms. Jenkins. I
No,
apologize.
nobody said nothing. Just Ms. Robinson said no.
Okay,
No
all right.
questions.
All right. Okay, so we'll look to receive that next month so we can make a decision. All right.
Be my pleasure.
Thank you so much, Ms. Alston.
Mhm.
All right, do we need a 2-minute break or can we keep going?
Keep going.
All right, let's roll. Public forum. Dr. Myrick, do we have anybody for public forum?
Yes, we have Miss Regina Brooks.
All right. Mrs. K. Robinson,
Yes, sir.
could you keep time for us tonight? Do you have an alarm on your phone when it?
Yes, sir.
All right,
What is it, 3 minutes?
3 minutes. Is Ms. Brooks, is she ready?
Is she out there?
Yes, she's out. She's out.
Okay. All right. Hello, Mrs. Brooks. When you are ready to begin, Mrs. K. Robinson, of course, you know you have 3 minutes and she will start the clock and she'll let us know when it's time. We ready when you are, Ms. Brooks?
Good afternoon. Things that you things that I've shared with you in 23 years, I see you beginning to listen. Welding City School Superintendent and school board members, I stand and present to you these thoughts for public forum. You are a stiff-necked board and superintendent. You expect God to bless you, yet many of you consider yourself and portray that you are the little gods. As a society, humans, our knowledge is increasing with the aid of technology, but we still get things wrong. This board is too arrogant. You allow God to teach you, you should, what's good and sound, and still you get things wrong. You are too proud to ask the parents and the children for forgiveness so that the children and parents can benefit and get started on the right track to learning and success. Mr. Lynch is a valuable access to Weldon City Schools. Ms. Jones was willing to invest, bless her heart. Please try to have people who are dedicated, professional, intelligent, and who can complement. There is a $220 million factory coming to Weldon. Are you educated for the workforce? Do you have students prepared for the United States Postal Service? Holden temporarily has jobs. Do you have anyone that can fulfill them? I say to you tonight, you need to take a look in the mirror. There is nothing wrong with taking a look in the mirror. The God that you serve, you are not helping our children, and I'll be the first to tell you. So if no one else tell you, trust me, you will be held accountable. I've been telling you this for 23 years. You look at me as if I'm someone from outer space, but trust me, the same children that you are miseducating, if you get in the hospital or the nursing home, don't be surprised if they turn their back on you. Weldon City Schools Superintendent and Board, you can do better. But as I say, you're so stiff-necked. Thank you so much.
All right, do we have any others for public comment?
No, sir.
All right. Moving on to number 10, the consent agenda. We don't have anything for consent agenda this month, correct?
That's correct.
All right. Moving on to number 11, discussion / action if needed. And number A is the rebuild or rehab of our high school. I guess I'll begin. Myself and Mr. Williams, we had the opportunity on yesterday to meet with individuals from the county as well as Dr. Myrick concerning the rebuild of our high school or the rehab of our high school. I think we had some, or at least I hope we had some fruitful conversation, but this is where we are, board members, and in just a second, we're gonna have Mr. Williams and Dr. Myrick to give us some information as well. They want to do, the county commissioners want to do another feasibility study on whether it would be beneficial or prudent, if I can say it in that respect, to build a new high school in conjunction or on the campus where our middle school is currently residing. And they want us to use lottery funds to pay for the entire feasibility study. Now they have a commissioners meeting next month. The county commissioners have a meeting the 1st of next month. And what we propose to them is that Weldon City Schools not have to bear the brunt of that feasibility study, but that it would be a shared cost. The county commissioners pay half, and that our school district would pay half with our lottery funds. Of course, one of the commissioners was there, and it is his opinion that we should pay for it all. He said the money comes, Commissioner Reeves Manning stated that we should pay for it all. The money comes into the county, it's county money, but then it's allocated to Weldon. And of course, I disagreed, and we found a mutual point. He didn't agree with what I said, and I didn't agree with what he said. So I asked a county manager, Tony Brown, to take it back to the county commissioners to ask them if they would be willing to meet us halfway on whatever the feasibility study costs. Of course, we did advocate for our present site to be the site where our high school is either rebuilt or rehabbed or refurbished, and that some way, form, or fashion we try to bring, or we plan to bring to substantiate our ADM, our students from RVAC to the same campus, which would be some cost savings from, you know, where they presently are, that we would have a building, but still have two administrators, you know, two principals in that respect. But we really, board members, we really need to get this feasibility study going, because as it has been said to us tonight from our building and grounds and maintenance individual, Mr. Turner, there's a lot of things going on down there at the middle school that need major attention. And all of us know the condition of the soil and everything down there. We can see that with our eyes, and you don't have to be a farmer. You don't have to be an architect to see what is happening. And so that's where we are. And I'll stop there. And Mr. Williams and Dr. Myrick, I know there's some more things that need to be added.
Yes, sir, Mr. Sykes. We pretty much told them we weren't interested in going down to the middle school because of the condition of the soil. And when you go behind the gym, you know, it's a drop off, and then you got the field there, and then you have woods and everything there, which is basically swampland. So we told them we weren't interested in that. But the sticking point is, Mr. Brown said that the county commission were not willing to move forward on anything until there was a feasibility study done. Of course, Reverend Sykes asked that it be shared and that they take it to the committee. But my thought is, if they side with Reeves Manning, pay it off, that if it boils down to that, I think we're going to have to pay it off. Because if we don't, it's going to go into litigation that may take a year, may take 2 years. And that's just going to put our students farther and farther behind. You know, we need a quality school, and we need one now. And, you know, I don't know what the feasibility will cost, but if the commissions doesn't, if they don't go in with it, I think it's a bite that we're gonna have to take for the system and try to move forward. Because if we get hung up in court, there's no telling. We already lost 3 years. Feasibility study was done in May of 2018. So it's been over 3 years and nothing has been done. And it could be another 2 years, 3 years in litigation, and we don't know how that's going to turn out. So if they say no, I think that somewhere we're going to have to bite the bullet, use a lot of refunds, and go ahead with a feasibility study so we can get something done. They did talk about ADM, but my thought was that no matter how many students we have, if we still recognize as a high school, we need to have a quality school. Our students deserve a quality school. And a lot of times people will go to a school that looks better, regardless of the academic performance of it, just from the look of it. And, you know, when we look at charter schools, face it, they look better than Welding School. And that's where a lot of parents are going to go. So I think we might have to bite that bullet if it come push to shove.
Mr. Chair, I think that about sums it up, with the exception that you made a suggestion that when they started talking about the ADM, that we could consider moving our early college to the same campus where the high school would be located. And they wanted to make sure that when we send the numbers that they're sent by school, by grade. And so they will be receiving that information. I've shared the numbers with Reverend Sykes earlier today. And so once I get the approval from him with those, I will forward those on to the county manager. But in a nutshell, Chairman Sykes and Mr. Williams covered the meeting. There were some things that they asked about, and Mr. Turner covered those during his portion of the meeting. One was about the moisture in the building, and he talked about that moisture still exists in the building. And I also asked him a couple of questions about is it a standing moisture problem? And he talked about how when it rains a lot, sort of what he did tonight, that moisture comes back and it causes the floors in the building to pop up. So those were some of the questions that they asked. And when we moving forward, whether we decide to do the feasibility, when we decide to do the feasibility study, this will require many meetings with the commissioners and the Board of Education, as well as the county manager, to make sure that we are all on the same page and moving forward with the project.
All right. Board members, do you all have any questions for myself or Mr. Williams or Dr. Myrick in that respect? Vice Chair Bert Robinson was supposed to be on that meeting with us, but she ended up having a scheduling conflict, as she told me and Mr. Williams via text. So she was not able to join us. And so it was myself and Mr. Williams as far as board members are concerned. But I will say, board members, I think you would be real pleased, you know, Mr. Williams and Dr. Myrick and myself, we did our very best to relay to them that we wanted our students to be at the present site. And of course, it was said to us by Commissioner Reeves-Manning, you know, that we didn't need to be comparing apples to oranges, that we, you know, needed to leave our RVEC students where they were. And of course, I brought to his attention that there's a school district within our county that has their students on their high school college campus. So, you know, they used to be RVEC students. And I pointed out to him that, you know, he was a commissioner when this charter was started. And now the 4 LEAs that it was, you know, a requirement that they had to be a part or they had to be given the opportunity to attend RVEC. Now, Northampton County, Halifax County, and Roanoke Rapids, those 3 additional LEAs also have their own early colleges. So all of the students that are at RVEC now are indeed students under the supervision of Welding City Schools. So we're trying to do what is best and advantageous for our students in the district in which we serve. And I think you all would have been very proud at how we tried to represent our Board of Education at that meeting on yesterday. And we didn't take down, but we were very, very, very cordial and very informative in what we said that we would like to see for our school district and our students. So I don't know what the county commissioners will decide when they have their meeting next month. You heard what Mr. Williams said concerning the feasibility study. We may have to bear that blunt. I hope that we do not, but if we do, board members, I think we need to have some action tonight so we won't, you know, be delayed a whole nother month and trying to get this process started.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I would agree with moving forward with the feasibility study, but I would also suggest that we look at NC State, UNC Chapel Hill, and East Carolina. Sometimes they have student-led studies that they do, and it will be at a reduced price that may be able to come in and assist with a feasibility study.
I agree with that, and we can point that out, but and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Williams, and Dr. Myrick, for some reason, they wanted a particular firm to come in to do the study. Did you not understand that in that respect?
They referenced the firm who did the feasibility study the last time.
Right.
I have it written down. I can't.
Davis and Kane.
Davis and Kane.
Right.
The one that the school system hired.
Yes.
Right.
Well, the one thing I was gonna say is, I do think this is not a place to be cheap. You want to have a super qualified firm do this work, because if they were to conclude that the school can be built on that site, you're gonna wanna make sure that somebody who really knows what they're doing is making that conclusion. Because, you know, if they're wrong, then you'll be stuck with problems, or you'll want somebody who will know how to address the slight issues that are kind of obvious to you guys. So I would, whether you use Davis Kane or you solicit somebody else to do the work. Davis Kane does really good work, and they would employ really good sub-consultants on the civil side who would be able to assess the site accurately. So I would definitely recommend that you recommend that the county and that you use a really good qualified consultant and not try to do it on the cheapest way possible. That'd be my recommendation.
I have a question. Is that the same company that did the feasibility study for the middle school?
No.
No.
Because I take issue with that.
No, the firm that did the design and engineering and the architectural work for the middle school is not in business anymore.
I can understand why, looking at the problems that we have at the middle school. Yeah.
Well, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion that we as a board that mount us any contribution from the county commissions, then our board pay the rest for a feasibility study. So if they don't make a contribution, we'll pay it all. If they give $5,000, then we'll accept that and do the feasibility study. So my motion is that we'll pay for the feasibility study, mount us anything, any contribution from the county commissions.
All right. Who seconded that?
K.A. Robinson.
Okay. Motion has been moved and properly seconded by Mr. Williams and Ms. K. Robinson, respectfully, that we move forward with the feasibility study minus any contribution that would be made by the county commissioners. You heard that motion. Is there any further discussion?
I'm sorry, can I ask a clarify? I thought what you said is that the county asked you to split the cost of the feasibility study.
I asked them, we asked them in their meeting coming up in November, if they would take it to the county commissioners to split the cost. I think what Mr. Williams is motioning, and that has been seconded, is in the event that the county commissioners decide that they not gonna pay it all, that we still move forward. Am I correct in what you're saying, Mr. Williams?
Yes, sir. And they decide to do half, then the motion is that we'll do the other half for whatever it takes.
Right, but it seems to me that the motion should be to pay half, and that be presented to, that the superintendent be authorized to direct to notify, or that you, chair, would notify their chair that you've authorized half and that they need to pay the other half. I mean, otherwise, why would they offer to pay anything if you say you're gonna pay it all?
Well, they won't know what.
Will you, I see where you're coming from. Will you amend your motion, Mr. Williams, to that respect? And then if they don't, turn him along
Things
Can
can
I-
be revisited, right?
But I'm saying if they don't, can I get a consent from the board on that only?
Well,
So-
I don't think you even want to deal with that. I mean, I think you say that you'll pay half. And then we wait to see what they do, and then you revisit it next month. But I don't think you need, I don't know that the couple of weeks between, this meeting and the next meeting.
Okay.
I mean, yes, it needs to move forward. I agree totally. I mean, we've been working on this for a while, but I wouldn't handcuff yourself over a month between this meeting and the next meeting. Or if anything,
Okay.
you can hold a quick special meeting on that one issue if you needed to.
Okay, all right. Well, Mr. Williams, will you amend your motion to that for the time being?
Yes, but yes, I'll amend it. But if we don't move ahead, will be the first of the year, because probably nothing's going to happen in November or December, maybe. So it probably be that's what I was trying to avoid. But anyway, I retract that motion I amend it to that we pay 1/2 of the feasibility study.
Okay. Ms. K. Robinson, do you still accept that second?
Most definitely.
All right. The motion on the floor now then is that the amended motion is that we will pay 1/2 of the feasibility study for the new high school or the rehab, and that we move forward in that respect. You heard that motion. Is there any further discussion?
Yes, sir. Riverside.
Yes,
That's
sir.
the feasibility on the land at the middle school.
Yes, sir. Feasibility study on the land at the middle school for the new high school building. Thank you for the clarity.
Yes, sir.
All right. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of that motion, let it be known by your voice vote. O.D. Sykes, aye. Ms. Bird Robinson,
Aye.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mrs. Harrison,
Yes.
Ms. Jenkins, all right. Ms. K. Robinson,
Aye.
all right. Let the record reflect unanimous approval. Thank you so much.
Reverend Sykes,
Yes, sir.
do you want me to reach out to Robert Stevenson? He's the lead architect of Davis King that did this before, and ask him for a proposal to do that so we can get a quote and have something to also present to the county?
Board, how do you feel about that?
I mean, you need to know how much it's gonna cost.
Yeah, we're gonna need to know that anyway. We may get it too late to present to them, but we need to meet. We're gonna need that either way.
All right. So y'all want to move forward with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Please do so, Attorney Malone, and get back with me and the board and Dr. Myrick as soon as possible.
All right, I'll send him an email right now.
Okay. He can begin on it, but
Yeah, I just want a proposal, just how much would it cost?
right.
That's all we're asking them for.
Right, okay. All right, secondly, 11B is our board committees, and I need to assign those committees tonight. And this is for the remainder of the school year, and if we need to adjust these committees, we can do so at the beginning of our 2022-23 school year. All right. Curriculum and instruction and the health portion that will go along with that. That committee will consist of 3 board members. The chairperson normally serves as the ex officio with all of those committee, along with 2 other board members. So the curriculum committee, curriculum and instruction, along with the health portion, will be Mrs. Tanya Bird Robinson and Miss Tiffany Hale. And Miss Tiffany Hale will be serving as chair of that committee. All right, building and grounds. That committee will consist of Mr. James Williams as the chairperson and Ms. Donna Harrison. And along with myself as ex officio. And on our finance and I'm going to say we can put HR along with that if needed or when needed. Going to have Mrs. Edith Jenkins along with myself and Miss Kimberly Robinson serving as chair of the finance committee.
Reverend Sykes.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Wait.
ma'am. I apologize. Yes, ma'am.
Do I have a choice?
Well, I had to break it up 2 by 2, Miss Jenkins. So.
I mean, you know, the committees can be any size. They don't have to be less than 4.
Excuse me?
I said the committee can be any size. It does not have to be less than 4.
If we have a quorum, that means that's a meeting.
Well, it's a meeting anyway. The committee meetings are meetings. The committee meetings will have to be noticed by, just like a regular meeting. The regular open meetings laws apply to committee meetings. They are meetings, so you can have more than a quorum on the committee itself.
Right.
I mean, so if you wanted a 4-person committee, you could certainly appoint a 4-person committee. And it's still a committee. It's not a quorum of the board. It's a committee. So it would make recommendations to the board, et cetera. But again, I mean, your committees get noticed just like a regular meeting. They're open to the public just like a regular meeting. They can go into closed session for the same reasons that your board can go into closed session, but otherwise it's an open meeting just like any other meeting.
Okay, well, let me do this then. Let me tentatively say that's where we are right now. Mrs. Jenkins, I will call you and we'll go from there because we may have some board members to kind of overlap. How about that? Can we do that, Ms. Jenkins?
That's okay. I will talk to you.
Okay. All right. I'll call you. I'll call you, Ms. Jenkins. I'll call you. But tentatively, that's where we are right now. And if we need to make adjustments, I'll make them next month. All right.
Okay.
That's just to get the ball rolling right now.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. Next, 11C, board meeting location. That was placed on the agenda. We put that on the agenda. So I don't even remember who said something about it now.
Ms. Bird Robinson asked that it be added. She had a question about if we could consider looking at the community college, the room we use for the retreat.
Okay.
For board meetings, so that
Go ahead, Mike.
so that we will have enough space to have the closed session with everyone spread it out. Is that correct, Ms. Bird Robinson?
That is correct. And I'm just thinking about when we were there for our retreat, it was plenty of space. Everyone was able to spread out, and we were all able to pretty much attend because of the space. And I know that we would all like to attend the meetings now, as many of us that can, but realizing that we're still in a pandemic and our boardroom is extremely small and tight. So just wanted to look at another place that we all feel comfortable in going into and that we can make sure that we're spread out.
Okay, discussion?
So we were looking at the same place, 401, I think it was what, 401 A and B, I believe it was. Was there a charge, Dr. Myrick, for that? Were you able to find out that information?
For that room, no, because it was on a day and they were already having classes there, so we didn't have to pay for security or anyone for maintenance for the building. But I don't know what the cost will be, if it's going to be a recurring meeting, that would be something that we would have to look into.
Okay. How do y'all feel? Do you want that explored and bring it back? Do you want to check to see if the next meeting can be there? How do you want to proceed?
I'd like for us to see if the next meeting can be there.
Okay. Anyone else? Ms. K. Robinson, Ms.
I agree.
Okay, Ms. Harrison.
It's okay to check, but if we have to pay to use a building when we have the central office where we conduct our meeting, I don't see why we go there to pay a fee, but yeah, you can check into it. I'm
Okay. All right. Ms. Jenkins, Mr. Williams.
I agree with the check. I mean, to see what the cost would be. We're looking at almost 5 hours in terms of our meetings.
Yeah, so you basically saying, and I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, Mr. Williams, are you basically saying the same thing that Mrs. Harrison is saying, we can check into it, but if it's a cost, we need to take a second look?
I'm saying if it's a cost, then we need to stick with the central office.
Okay, all right.
Right. Well, that's it.
Central service, excuse me.
Yeah, I think you had it right. All right, so Dr. Myrick, yeah, check into that and see what it's going to be. And normally the community college, my understanding, if they have, classes and things going on, it wouldn't be a charge just like it was, but we can verify all of that. All right, thank you so much.
Also check to see about the time, because I think they close a little earlier than, like if we're in here like we are tonight and it's after 10. Is there a fee after their classes are over? Or what we have to do if that was the case, if we ran over the time that they have it already open?
All right, thank you so much. All right, number 12, information only. We don't have an information only, correct? Or do we?
The information only are just the minutes that were approved last month, but they have been amended and updated with the changes that were noted.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. All right, with that being said, we're at number 13. We need to recess open session and retire back to closed session. To those that are joining in, our meeting is not concluded, but we do need to go back into closed session. So we will be coming back to open session as quickly as possible to finish up our meeting for tonight. Thank you so much for being patient with us, and we hope that you will continue to stay on, and we will be back in open session as soon as possible. All right, board members, let's retire to,
wait, you gotta get a motion.
to adjourn, to return to closed session.
Correct, yes.
Thank you.
So you need a motion pursuant to 115C. Okay, cut that one off. All right. You need a motion pursuant to 143-318.11, A1, A3, and A6 for personnel and attorney-client privileged matters.
So moved.
Is there a second? Who seconded?
Second.
All right, motion has been moved and properly second that we go back into closed session according to the general statute that has been stated. You heard that motion that has been properly seconded. All those in favor, let it be known by your voice vote. Ms. Burr Robinson.
Aye.
Mr. Williams.
Yes.
O.D. Sykes, aye. Ms. K. Robinson.
Aye.
Ms. Harrison.
Yes.
Ms. Jenkins. All right. Motion passes. Let's return to closed session.
Good night.